finished third in the group.
The Czechs improved their record to 3-1 with their third straight win.
The U.S., Finland, that is going to be heartbreak for one team to go out in the quarterfinals.
They take top spot in the group.
Just keep watching. Goes like this, move from the back, eyes on me, hate like that, just like this, here for the night, only bite in, just keep watching. Just keep watching.
Happy New Year, Canada. 4-0, heading for the quarterfinals.
Just keep watching.
Another clear, crisp January day in Minnesota, where we will narrow the field from 8 to 4. Quarterfinal number 2 is next. Czechia and Switzerland. The Swiss team moving over from the Minnesota Wild Arena here to the University of Minnesota. That's where they play their preliminary round games. And there's Wojciech Chias and the Czechs, who's only lost so far in this tournament. That wild 7-5 game to Canada in the opener. As we say hello, Canada, and welcome to quarterfinal Friday here at the 2026 World Junior Hockey Championship. James Southey alongside Cheryl Pounder and Frankie Corrado. Canada and Slovakia about 4 hours away. But first, what should be a dandy? Two teams have looked really good so far. When Czechia was winning 3 straight medals at this tournament the last 3 years, they kept being labeled the surprise team. No surprise anymore. This team has looked really good. They truly believe they can win the gold medal. On the Swiss side, they give fits to the U.S. and Sweden in the preliminary round and looking every part the potential Cinderella. One of them going to the semis 60 minutes from now. To get you ready for it, Gord Miller and Mike Johnson.
Yeah, and James, when you look at this Czech roster, it's led by 2 terrific defensemen, Thomas Galvis and Adam Jiricek, who are dynamic but very different.
Just goes to show there's no one singular way to play hockey or play the position of defense. You can be built differently, play differently. And Thomas Galvis, he plays with his feet, with his legs. It's about skating and moving and putting pressure on the opposition with your movement. He's been up the ice the entire time. He's the second leading defensive scorer in the tournament with 7 points. And you can't help but notice him. He has the puck an awful lot. He's out there up the ice an awful lot. Then there's Adam Jiricek, who is a prototypical 6'2", 210-pounder with a big bomb from the point, who scores with shots and between the legs as well, but block shots, plays heavy defense, leads the entire tournament in minutes on ice. They play on different players, they play different styles, but the two of them are the catalyst for what Czechia does going forward.
They've met 24 times previously, these two teams. The Swiss have just 4 wins. The Czechs have won 5 straight overall at the World Junior. James?
Back to those two for the drop of the puck in just a couple of minutes' time. One of the reasons the Swiss look good in that preliminary round, the goaltending's been excellent. 2 of the top 3 save percentage goaltenders in the tournament from Switzerland. They split the games. Christian Kirsch, .950 so far has been spectacular. He will get the start today. And when you're looking for a Cinderella at the World Juniors, that's usually the first key is the goaltending. We remember Lennarts Feldbergs last year on Latvia, who stoned Canada.
The goaltending has been the backbone of this Swiss team. Only 8 goals allowed so far in the 4 games that they've played. Both goaltenders are NHL drafted, and for Christian Kirsch, a member of the Kitchener Rangers, impressive. He's got a .901 save percentage playing in the Ontario Hockey League. Not an easy thing to do. They play well as a team, and at the forefront of that is a young forward who's 16 years old, who's playing in his second World Juniors. That's Jona Neuschwander, who is probably the most individually skilled player on this Swiss team. He hasn't had a point yet. Look for him to register one. And on the back end, the backbone of this back end is Leon Mugli, who spent some time in the American Hockey League this season playing for Hershey, plays in all situations, big ice time. They play well together as a team, and that is something they will have to lean on in this game.
So tough to score against the Swiss with that quality of goaltending they've had. But if you believe in guys who are overdue, there's a Czechia star who's likely due to get one.
Oh, absolutely. And against Latvia, man, was he ever frustrated? As Adam Benek, I mean, playing on that second line, he doesn't have a goal yet in this tournament. He does have 4 helpers, but when you're used to scoring, you can get frustrated. I mean, 15 goals, 28 assists with Brantford of the Ontario Hockey League. But this is a guy, you talk about a team that quickly transitions the puck. Well, he's got pace, he's got speed to his game, and he's playing with Politin and Curran, 2 other guys that can find the back of the net. They've been around it. He's been sniffing it out, guys. It's just a matter of time, but you certainly know that he's chomping at the bit to get it. And with this lineup, deep Czechia lineup, you know, this is a guy that can certainly fill the net.
You saw what Czechia can do in Canada's group. If you weren't watching the Swiss in the other group, they went 2-2 and really had a chance to win all 4 games. Lost 2-1 to the Americans and led Sweden in the 3rd period before falling 4-2. The first quarterfinal's almost done. They're down to the last minute. Sweden leading Latvia 6-3, so the Swedes are going to be off to the semifinals, the #1 seed. Czechia, Switzerland next. U.S., Finland, which should be terrific from the other rink at 6 Eastern, and the finale, Canada versus Slovakia. That's, of course, a rematch of the quarterfinals in Halifax, a brilliant game 3 years ago when Connor Bedard scored that incredible OT winner. First up, though, the Swiss and the Czechs for a spot in the semis.
The 2026 IIHF World Junior Championship on TSN is brought to you in part by TELUS, now offering 5-year plan price lock on select mobility and internet plans. By Esso. From the Esso Medals program to representing Team Canada, Esso is dedicated to Canada's game. And by Tim Hortons, proudly supporting over 100,000 Timbits hockey players in Canada.
From a first game to their biggest game. From Esso medals to gold medals. We are dedicated to Canada's game.
We're building the future of nuclear energy right here in Ontario. The first small modular reactors in the G7. The first large-scale nuclear facilities in decades. Creating over 150,000 new jobs during construction and operation, delivering new opportunities for workers. We're powering a more competitive, resilient, and self-reliant economy, securing our future as an energy superpower. That's how we protect Ontario.
DayQuil VapoCool can relieve those cold symptoms.
DayQuil VapoCool?
It's DayQuil, plus a brush of Vicks Vapors.
DayQuil VapoCool, the vaporizing daytime coughing, aching, stuffy head, fever, power through your day medicine.
When you've been in Canada for over 230 years, you get around in plastic cups, fancy cups, teacups, these little cups, or no cup at all. From glassware to footwear to everywhere in between. Because it doesn't matter what it's in, it matters where it's from. Molson, everyone in.
Welcome back to Minnesota, and the 2026 World Junior Hockey Championship is quarterfinal day, and the second features the Czechs and the Swiss. Czechia 3-1, the Swiss 2-2. The officials for this game are Andreas Huber of Austria, Rocco Stachowiak of the United States, the referees, the linesman Anthony Lapointe of Canada, and Luka Mäkinen from Finland. The Swiss and Czechs have both alternated goaltenders through the tournament so far, and that will continue as Christian Kirsch of the Kitchener Rangers of the OHL makes his 3rd appearance in the tournament, has a .901 save percentage with the Kitchener Rangers, and Michal Orszalak, who plays for Prince Albert in the Western League, has an .857 save percentage for the Czechs so far in the tournament. Jan Cadieux, first year as the head coach of the Swiss national junior team and assistant coach with their men's world championship and Olympic programs. And Patrick Augusta, second generation Czech coach. His dad Josef guided the Czechs to world championship wins in 2000 and 2001. Swiss players are wearing black armbands today to honor the victims of the horrible New Year's Eve fire in Crans-Montana, Switzerland. We send our condolences to the families, friends of the victims. The young Swiss players here are of the same age as many of the victims of that horrible tragedy. Loris Bay plays it back in for the Swiss, who beat the Czechs last in Montreal back in 2017. They've had some close games against them, some overtimes. And played around by Jonas Neuenschwander, number 19, the 16-year-old, for the second straight year, is the youngest player in the tournament.
Next year, we promise, Jonah, you will not be the youngest. He might be.
He's an 09 born, Mike. He can play in this tournament until the 2029 event, which would make him the first player to play in 5.
So hopefully he's playing in a professional league by that time.
Well, he's not eligible for the draft for 2027s. Fired back down by Yamiro Reber. So he was born the year Eberle scored the goal in Ottawa, if you want to feel old. Up ahead is Thomas Politin. Politin takes that return pass from Benak, walks in. Benak with a chance, rolled that just wide. Adam Benak with 4 assists in 4 games so far. Done everything but score in this tournament. Drafted by the Minnesota Wild in the 4th round of the last draft. Politin slides it in for Benak. Works it again and shoots. And the save is made by Kirsch.
Exactly right. Cheryl talked about Benak before the game and how he was close, and you see why. Another chance for him to take the puck to the net. He was slashed there and knocks it off his stick, but he's speedy, but he also works to get around the front of the net. Just has that one roll off his stick, and right after that, another chance. He's looking for penalty calls against him. It's good to see him smiling and not hard on himself. Apparently, he's very demanding on his own game.
That puck trickles down to the front of the goal, and Kirsch knocks that away.
Penalty coming up, trip.
Danny Cloutier got loose in front and finally touched up in the game's first power play. Will go to the Czechs.
The guilty party always goes right to the guy he tripped and told me you're diving. You got to stay on your feet.
So Cloutier goes off. It's the Swiss getting the first power play.
Czechia number 19 has a 2-minute minor for tripping.
So an early chance here for the Swiss. Their power play hasn't been great. 3 for 14 so far.
Badil gets tangled up with the goaltender, and as he's reaching behind the net, he gets his skate into the stick, or stick into the skates of Meyer. And Switzerland to the early power play. You do not want to be chasing a game against Switzerland. They are airtight.
Czechs have allowed 3 power play goals on 14 opposition attempts. There's Neuenschwander with a chance, rolled back in front by Vey, and picked back up by Lars Steiner. Here is Steiner with it. Back at the line for Ludwig Jonsson, a returnee from last year. Steiner shoots, kicked out by Orsolak. And back out to center ice. Taking along the boards as Jonsson was spilled. Now Neuenschwander drops that back to Steiner. Back at the point for Jonsson. Feeds it across for Yamiro Reber. The long point shot goes wide by Jonsson. Picked back up by Steiner. Crisscrossing with Neuenschwander, who plays in the Swiss top pro league as a 16-year-old. That pass is picked up by Politin. And Politin winds in and spins back to take some time off the clock. Swiss for 8th last year, lost their quarterfinal match against the United States. Their last quarterfinal win was in 2019 in Victoria, BC. They beat the Swedes 2-0 after the Swedes had rolled through the preliminary round. Long shoot in by Eschleman is gloved by Orsolak.
Well, Switzerland gets the early power play. They go away shooting mentality through traffic, get it down there. Orsolak's looking for it, and he is going shooter-tooter style. Hands up, legs wide, and hope it hits something. It catches a right pad. Fortunate break on a good screen. Get a sense of Switzerland not looking to overpass, just get it down to the net.
Swiss have taken down some big teams in the past in this tournament. In Saskatoon in the 2010 event, they beat the Russians in the quarterfinal in overtime. That was Nino Niederreiter with the overtime winner. Now the all-time leading goal scorer among Swiss-born players. Loose puck in front, short-handed. Chias works in and rolled that just wide. Fibiger back with it. And at the national team level, the Swiss have lost the last 2 gold medal games of the World Championship. They've finished second 4 times in the last 12 years. Niederreiter, by the way, a member of all 4 of those teams, the only player who has lost all 4 of those gold medal games. Now brought back in, a quick chance there for Gross-Miklas, and Joel Gross-Miklas turned away in the final seconds of this Swiss power play. 3 shots on goal, a man advantage. Ustinkov works back out. Daniel Ustinkov plays that back. Mugli, long shot, scores! Leon Mugli from the point sneaks it through, and the Swiss have grabbed an early 1-0 lead.
Mugli gets his first in the tournament. Similar mentality at 5-on-5 like they had on the power play. Use their speed, buy some time and space, then get bodies in front. And Antonin goes in front. Simple wrister, finds some seams, and maybe right through the legs of Galvis as well. Orsulak can't find it. Get a sense of what Orsulak's looking for. Through the right of the pile, goes to the left of the pile. And Leon Mugli, who is, no question, Switzerland's best player.
Yeah, 2nd round pick of Washington, been in Hershey of the American League this year. In his 3rd World Junior Championship.
They have 11 goals in the tournament. He's got 5 points as a defenseman, so he's pretty important.
The Swiss have 11 back from last year's team. And 17 of their players play in various Swiss leagues. In the top league, the National League, the Swiss League, their 2nd league, or their junior league. And the Swiss have done a good job developing players the last decade or so. Played back around and picked up by Kubiesa. And chipped back down to the Swiss zone. James Duffy mentioned off the top, the Swiss have been a tough out here. They lost by 1 to the Swedes, or by 1 to the United States. They lost by 2 to Sweden on an empty net goal. But they were very much in both those games. Sonsona plays that back to center, brought in by Kerbler. And Kerbler chips that back in the corner. Shots are 5-2 Switzerland thanks to the early power play. And Fibberger back with it. Pick back out. Nice Sonsona. And here is Adam Jiricek. St. Louis first rounder fires that around. The puck was deflected. There's no icing. Now chopped back out by Paul Motard. Oh! Sikora. The Czech captain for Nestor Schur. Back for Sikora. He's tied up in the corner. Sikora feeds that back to Fibberger. A long shot that was blocked in front by Motard. That broke his stick. She has moves it and shoots. And that's stopped by Kirsch. Jonsson turns it over to Sikora, now brought back by Eschleman. Plays that back to center ice. And we've seen this movie before, Mike, at different levels. The Swiss with the lead are top.
Good news is for Czechia, they scored 3 minutes of the game. Right. A long runway left, but they are organized.
Neuenschwander works in. Backhands it back in front as Galvis was back defending, and Politin has it back for the Czechs.
We've seen how dangerous Czechia can be off the rush in this tournament. You just wonder how many rush opportunities they're going to get. Switzerland has lots of players back almost every time.
Max Curran works in. He's knocked off the puck and it's flipped back out by Robin Antonin.
And when you try to stick handle through 1 or 2 or 3 guys, it's going to be tough sledding to get in the offensive zone for Czechia.
There's a lot of these players play in the Swiss National League, known as a very defensive league, with a lot of veteran goaltenders in their late 30s, early 40s.
Is Giannoni still playing?
I think so. Your old teammate Cristobal Huet played into his 40s in that league. Jacques Plante played in Switzerland back in the day. In comes Curran. He's stripped off the puck by John Meyer. Long drive by Curran, knocked away by Christian Kirsch. In his first year in the Ontario League, he played in the United States Hockey League last year.
I think over 900 for a save percentage in the OHL is a good number. Save percentage have been plummeting across hockey in all leagues, at all levels.
Vladimir sends that down. Why is that?
I don't think they're counting as many shots as they used to. So, which is a big part of it. And players are much better shooters and more selective in how they shoot.
Mon back at the point. That was blocked by Kerbler. And the Swiss are up and cheering every time one of their guys blocks a shot.
I'm thinking we're going to keep this up for 55 minutes of board banging every time someone blocks a shot.
Apparently.
They're going to break a lot of sticks down there. Or a lot of boards.
Mon slides that back ahead for Pesanichka. That's knocked away again by Mugli. Fibberger looks ahead for Kubiesa. And Ustinkov Plays that back around, and it's got it back up by Neuenschwander. Neuenschwander looking for Vey. That pass was knocked away. Neuenschwander in his Swiss National League debut at the age of 15. So Andres Ambuel, who plays in that league, is 42, I think. Knocked down now by Nestor Schill. Plays it across to Jiricek, and that pass just missed. Klima. Jiri Klima back in the corner with it. And Klima walks off the boards and sends that back down for Nestor Schill. The Chicago first rounder goes back to Fippiger, shoots, that's blocked, up again. And now it's kicked up by Neuenschwander. Chance for a break for Neuenschwander. Busting in, posts up, and the shot goes off the skate of Nestor Schill. A more team reaction from the Czech bench after that shot block. Much more subdued. Čihas back the other way for the Czechs. Squeeze there by Nicholas Blessing. And Sikora back with it. Now, another penalty coming here. It's going to be a hooking call against the Swiss, and so the Czechs down one will get a chance here on the power play after 19-year-old Leon Mugli gave the Swiss a 1-0 lead.
Invest in what you're really invested in. With custom goals and personalized advice from Scotia Smart Investor. Scotiabank, you're richer than you think.
Give yourself the gift of sleep this holiday season.
Hurry in and shop unbeatable deals with 25% off almost everything. Our extended Boxing Week is on now at Sleep Country.
Remember, if you don't snooze, you lose.
Thank you for your time.
Wow.
Thank you, Kendra.
Tim, you're up.
Good morning. So I think really our focus is...
You're frozen.
Are we freezing? No, not today. Not today. Where are my numbers go? If you hear nothing else I say, I am going to let you down. You want to go with Kendra?
Yes.
Poor cable internet connection.
When the stakes are high, why rely on cable internet? Switch to Canada's most reliable internet technology with a 5-year plan price lock, only from TELUS.
Czechia will go to their first power play of the game as they draw a hooking penalty here. As Meyer gets on the outside of Sikora. And you got to stay on the inside path. You don't pick the stick clean here, now you're in trouble. You've lost defensive positioning, and you have no choice but to reach into the hands. But the good news for Switzerland, they are perfect so far in the tournament. 13 for 13 on the penalty kill. Have not given up a power play goal against yet. Czech is pretty good on their own. 5 for 16, 31%. Sent
back down the ice by the Swiss. A pretty good conversation right now about who's the best player, who the best Swiss player is in the NHL. Lots to choose from. Vega clip there.
Get a little elbow in the face on his way in.
Jiricek. Now Nestor Schill is stripped. Moved back down the ice by Blessing. The longest time Roman Josi would have taken that crown, but Isher's been very good as well. Captain in New Jersey. Benak plays it across for Curran. Drops it back. Nestor Schill slaps that pass back across. Benak works that back to Jiricek. Across to Nestor Schill. Jiricek plays that back around. At the line, helped by Jiricek for Nestor Schill. Passes down to Benak. Trying to throw that back in front. That's knocked away by Sonsona. Moved the other way by Bolidori. Back down the ice by Jonsson. Inside a minute to go in this Czech power play. Now Galvas out there. Being watched by Motard. Back across to Kubiesa. And now Galvas, the lead pass for Novotny, finds Čihas. Kubiesa and stride shoot. And the save made by Kirsch.
We saw Kubiesa score from almost the exact same spot the other day. Wrister far side. Kirsch had the answer.
You said Kirsch having a solid year for the Kitchener Rangers of the OHL. Got cut by a USHL team last year and spent the year in the North American Hockey League. Big kid though, 6'4", 190 pounds, so right away he's got a chance. Sikora. Time winding down the power play. Works in 1-on-3. Gross-Nicholas got a stick on him. And now off the stick and a chance now for Lars Steiner working in. Steiner has a look and shoots. Orschelak knocks that away. One shot for the Czechs on the power play. Still 1-0 Switzerland. 9 to go in the opening period. Sweden with a win of the first quarterfinal game, 6-3 over Latvia. Swedes the #1 seed, and they will reseed after the quarters. The highest remaining will play the lowest. Canada's the #2 seed. But as we said, and have said so many times, there's normally one upset, at least, in the quarters, to varying degrees. The last 2 years, that's been Canada losing out. Ludil shoots, and through the traffic, Kirsch able to make the stop. 1-0, Switzerland has the lead as Kirsch bars the door for Switzerland.
When you've been in Canada for over 230 years, you get around. In plastic cups, fancy cups, teacups, these little cups, or no cup at all. From glassware to footwear to everywhere in between. Because it doesn't matter what it's in, it matters where it's from. Molson, everyone in.
This holiday season, give the gift of endless entertainment.
All right, should we roll?
Right now, get Crave starting at $3.99 a month for your first 3 months. And stream hit series.
Okay, on my couch.
Canadian Crave Originals.
Where is the elevator?
It's busted.
Plus, bring on the festive magic with iconic classics.
Best time of the year.
Get Crave starting at $3.99 a month for your first 3 months. Ends January 12th. Terms apply. Only available at crave.ca/subscribe.
Oh, Switzerland into the quarterfinals in large part because of the strength of their goaltenders. The best save percentage. First and third, Kirsch and Neuenschwander, the duo, they've been going back and forth. I don't know if that streak ends today or not, if they happen to win this one, but when you have two guys that can be as good as they have been, it gives you a chance to stay in every game, and they have.
Neuenschwander, the older brother of Jonas Neuenschwander, the forward. We mentioned made his debut last year in the Swiss League as a 15-year-old. As a point of reference, the legendary Swiss player Andres Ambuel had been playing in the Swiss National League for 23 years when he broke in. Ambuel finally retiring this year. Meyer gets tied up along the boards. Here's Blessing with it. Back around for Bolidori. With the Bolidori. Goes that back right. Here's Blessing with it. And Blessing banks it back out.
Too many men. Too many men. Way too many men.
Reber snaps that pass into Neuenschwander. Back down to the Czech zone. Shots even at 6. Talked about the Swiss style before. They've always been good at keeping games close, but they're doing it very differently now. They don't sit back like they used to. They're much more aggressive. They're confident they can score goals.
It's so much less passive. More belief that they can play with you. And the defense comes from goaltending and organization as opposed to just passive play.
Bay chips that back down the ice by Mann. And icing called against the Swiss.
And sometimes you need a break. This thing's got a little chaotic around the bench. And Switzerland trying to make a change here. A stick gets knocked out of a hand. Guys are jumping. Let's do a quick counter. I see 1, I see 2, 3, 4, 5. Uh-oh. 6 out there and well out there and around the puck. That is a fortunate break for Switzerland to avoid that one.
It was a bit chaotic at their bench.
And the real culprits were there was 3 defensemen 20 feet on the ice. It wasn't the 3 forwards at the front.
Face-off is won there by Loris Bay, returning from last year. Galvis for Chihas, up for Sikora. Tied up at center ice again. This is Motard with it. Plays it back across and slashing in is Eschleman. That shot knocked away by Orschelak. Eschleman centers it. And Sikora has it back. Czechs are the 4th seed after the preliminary round. Swiss are 6th.
You just look at Switzerland, you alluded to a couple times. 2-1 against U.S., 3-2 essentially with an empty netter against Sweden. Those are two very good teams, and they were right there the entire game.
Then beat Germany 4-0 and the Slovaks 3-2.
There's also a comfort there for Switzerland in playing in close games.
Right. Czechs lost their opener 7-5 to Canada on Boxing Day, then won 3 in a row, including a 2-1 overtime win against the Finns, then beat Latvia 4-2 on New Year's Eve. Swiss, though, tied with Sweden for the fewest goals allowed in the opening round. Bouncing around as Benak got a shot through the crease there. Now Fibiger plays that back for Jiricek, and Politin a shot that goes wide. Max Curran tries to center it. Steiner taken down. There's Curran back with it. Max Curran, born in Prague. Plays that back in, shoots. Kirsch makes the stop. Puck still loose. It's under his pad now. And Kirsch able to hang on. And there is a massive pileup in the Swiss crease. 5:18 to go here in the opening period. It's quarterfinal day of the 2026 World Junior Hockey Championship. Don't get fooled again.
At OK Tire, we service small vehicles. We service big vehicles. And we service vehicles that make big vehicles look like small vehicles.
When you've been in Canada for over 230 years, you get around. In plastic cups, fancy cups, teacups, these little cups, or no cup at all. From glassware to footwear to everywhere in between. Because it doesn't matter what it's in. It matters where it's from. Molson, everyone in.
From a first game to their biggest game. From Esso medals to gold medals. We are dedicated to Canada's game.
Shoresy and the Bulldogs are back to face their toughest competition yet. The new season of the Smash Hit is now streaming only on Crave. Shoresy! We had a game against the Shoresy guys with the Leaf alumni at Scotiabank. Almost sold the place out. Raised all kinds of money for charity. And what I learned is that they all can actually play hockey. Not just actors. A lot of former hockey players in that group.
Jiricek back with it. Being shadowed there by Nolan Catin. Fibiger for Hook. Works back in and chips that down now. Johnson goes back around. That centering pass knocked away. There's a chance for Novotny, turned away by Kirsch. Talk about the Swiss at the senior level. Last time the Olympics were in Italy, 2006, the Swiss beat Canada. Shut them out.
Switzerland's going to be a tough out at the Olympics coming up. Our blend of NHLers and some domestic league players.
Neuenschwander feeds that back across for Reber. Neuenschwander trying to slide that back in, gets it back and shoots. It's juggled, but held by Orszalak. And right now, with 4.5 to go here in the first period, the Swiss have been at least the equal of the Czechs.
They've got the game being played exactly how they'd like. It's not perfect, but getting counterattack opportunities. Neuenschwander tries to make a pass, grabs the rebound, pretty good quick wrister. And after Czechia had their maybe best chance on this quick release by Novotny. Peterborough Pete's sails one just wide. Patrick Augusta has got to keep his team patient. He can't force plays at the blue line against Switzerland. Otherwise, they'll get those counterattacking chances.
By the way, we haven't seen Neuenschwander in a year. He's a far more powerful skater than we saw last year. That's just a matter of a 15 to a 16-year-old.
Bambi's not a fair description, but he was sort of gangly and not a lot of strength in his stride. Looks much better, and you only imagine he'll get better from here.
When he gets drafted in 2027.
He'll be around so long, the scouts start picking apart his game after 4 or 5 years.
They wait for his draft year. That's what they do in your draft year. Galvis moves in, being watched by Ustinkov, and Ustinkov takes him off the puck. Got it back up by Meyer. Pesenichka lost the puck to Eshelman. Mike Eshelman shoots it. The leg of Pesenichka in front of Galvis. Up ahead for Nestrashil. Long bouncer knocked away by Kirsch. Pesenichka shoots, hit a skate in front, still sitting there. Picked up by Nestrashil, and Kirsch swatted that away with the windmill.
Tried to bank it in from behind, but Kirsch was on to it.
Now turned over to chance.
Pass the puck to Nestrashil back door. He was wide open.
She has had it. Another forecheckers, Chihas, along with Sikora. Blessing works that free. Inside 3 to go in the period. Sikora. Back around to Chihas. Pesenichka. Saman shoots. That's blocked by Kerbler. And the Swiss are up and cheering again. Must be exhausting.
You'd be stunned to know that I wasn't always a heavy participant in the board banging.
Or the shot blocking for that matter. You just set the whole thing out. Antonin shoots. And the save is made by Archeron. You were good at so many other things.
Sure. We'll find them eventually.
Pesenichka. After Politin. And Gross Nicholas has it back. Well, Gross Nicholas, who plays his junior hockey in Sweden. That's turnover. In comes Politin. Politin locks in, trying to center it. And the man who turned it over, Robin Antonin, dives to block that pass. Curran, loose behind the goal, plays that back to Jiricek's got some room. Jiricek. Back across the top. Jiricek gets a step on Kata. Shoots. Bounces back in front. That was knocked away from Benak. Curran back with it. Plays it back to Fibiger. Across he goes to Jiricek. Jiricek fires. He put that wide. And it bounces by Fibiger and back down the ice.
That whole sequence started with the turnover from Antonin, who's getting told on the bench, move it forward. No lateral plays in the neutral zone.
Brought in by Buck. His stick was knocked out of his hands. He's looking back at the official. That's been called a lot in this tournament, and in the NHL for that matter. Much to the disgust of Mike Johnson.
I am going down to congratulate the officials for not calling it there.
Jiricek plays that back, deflected shot there from Adam Tittlebach, and that's gloved by Kirsch. And he'll squeeze that.
Novotny, the latest one to test Kirsch. Has a couple of chances from the big line. Nestrashil tries to bank one in. Kirsch was out of position, but still recognized what was happening and is looking for it with his glove. Not going to go now. Gord, back door, please, back door. Nestrashil standing there. It's a big gap between the feet, too. Just slam dunk, tap in. If Chihash could have only seen it. Probably should have banged a stick on the ice for it.
Something else you loved. On the list of Mike Johnson's greatest hits, beaver tapping is really high on the list. Yeah. Please let everyone know where you are.
Yeah, exactly.
And indicate to your teammate that he doesn't have the vision to see you.
You summed it up quite nicely.
And hold on to your stick. Pretty much sums up Mike's
playing my greatest hits.
Novotny, that goes off a leg. Galvis back on it, but it's picked back up. Ive out to center ice. 30 seconds to go in the period. Good pressure from the Czech the last couple of minutes here as Weber fires it back down to the Czech zone. Galvis back with it. Tomas Galvis plays for Liberec in the Czech league. 7 of the Czech players play in Czechia, 17 in North America. Curran shoots, and Kirsch to stop on that. On the shot by Max Curran of the Edmonton Oil Kings.
Kirsch obviously looks really solid, making the saves and holding on the rebounds. But he would probably be the first to tell you that it's a lot easier when you can see the puck. And while the Czechs are probably bigger, heavier than Switzerland at times, they're doing a good job of establishing early position and making it hard. So that's a stick waving at it, but not a body to look through for Kirsch. Juracek, if he gets hold of this one-timer, he's already spinning his stick in his hands.
Curran trying for the face-off, wins it. Juracek shoots, that's blocked. And a shot block to end the period. Sends the Swiss up and cheering and happy going to the dressing room with a 1-0 lead.
Even I would block. I'd give Korbler a little love for that one. That was not pleasant. They did what they wanted to. Little tap back to Juracek, and he goes down right on top of it and takes it into the knees. Ooh. I don't care how close you are, it hurts. And the bench recognizing the sacrifice as they had all period long to get up 1-0 after one.
Leon Mugli, the goal for the Swiss, as we go to the first intermission here in Minnesota.
On a crisp winter night by a couch twice their size, gathered a family who saw things with childlike eyes. What was this festive feel? Why, the Tim's holiday meal. There were lattes and donuts topped off with Biscoff, flatbread pizzas with festive fun socks. Let's light up the tree, we heard them cheer. Oh, well, they laughed. A small blunder, my dear. So if you too want that magical feel, feed your inner child with the Tim's holiday meal.
No way. It can't be. Gail, you have to...
I'll be in the car.
Yes.
It's your last chance for Boxing Week prices at the Brick. This storage sleeper sectional is just $9.99. Mind the 18 cubic foot fridge, your choice, white or stainless steel, only $8.99 each. And get up to 25% off dining and bedroom. The Brick, saving you more.
When you've been in Canada for over 230 years, you get around. In plastic cups, fancy cups, teacups, these little cups, or no cup at all. From glassware to footwear to everywhere in between. Because it doesn't matter what it's in. It matters where it's from. Molson, everyone in.
This is the story of Gavin, an amateur topiarist who became such a viral sensation that he changed careers and never looked back. Another decision he didn't second guess? Getting Manulife Cover Me health and dental insurance. Prescription allergy pills? Covered. Physiotherapy after a tough day of shrubbery? Covered. With comprehensive coverage from Manulife Cover Me, you can get on with whatever life looks like. Call 1-877-COVER-ME or visit coverme.com to get a quote today.
We're gonna make you an offer you can't refuse.
Just give me a second.
Are you crying?
Just give me a second.
We're gonna be playing the EU All-Stars.
They're unbeatable. They're 7-0.
This EU team is spectacular.
The players here are overrated.
We are not scared of them.
Hear that, Scherzi?
Let's make sure they never forget who we are.
Intermission number one of quarterfinal number 2. Leon Mugli from the point, the lone marker of that first period. He's standing by with Kenzie Lalonde.
Well, Leon, it's simple. You win and you're off to the semifinals, and right now your team is in the lead. What was the message to your group coming into this game?
I feel like D-zone first. I battled it out, blocking shots, which we did. And then, yeah, take what they gave us.
You took what was given. You're the lone goal scorer in this game. What did you see on your goal?
End of power play. Been out for a while. Tried to get the shot through, and good screen there, and went in, yeah.
It's your 5th game of the tournament. So over the course of this event, what have you learned about your team that's really going to help you in a game like this that's do or die?
I feel like we're a pretty tight group. We block shots for each other. We help each other out. I feel like you can see it on the ice, what we do for each other. So, yeah, that's what our success is.
Okay, best of luck.
Thank you.
James Duthie back with Cheryl Pounder and Frankie Corrado with your first intermission. Looked like a fairly harmless shot, but I guess the lesson there is there's no harmless shots with a screen in front of the net.
For me, it's all about the lead up to the goal. And the lead up is on the power play, but the goal is at even strength. And watch Daniil Ustinkov here with his puck protection. He's not going to give it up because in his head, he's on the power play. So why is he going to give it up? There's one turn, there's two. Now he's going to be patient with it. Another cutback, but still not satisfied. One more. So 4 cutbacks eventually before you make that pass to the point. And yeah, it's an innocent shot, but you have bodies in front of the net. So the confidence to play with the puck like you're on the power play eventually leads to the even strength goal for the Swiss team, who played a stout defensive period, which is right on brand for the kind of hockey that they play afterwards.
The way they've played this entire tournament. And Gordon MJ alluded to this. A 1-0 lead for the Swiss because of the way they play feels more dangerous than 1-0 lead for a lot of teams in this tournament.
This was my kind of play because I was a shutdown defender, right? You want to protect the middle of the ice, and they've been doing it so effectively. I mean, in all 3 zones, they started with a heavy forecheck, but when you backtrack, it's with a purpose, and you take away the middle of the ice. You want to push to the outside, and that's exactly what they've done, even in their own zone. Controlled, it is to safety. Now, all of a sudden, once you hit that contact zone, you've got numbers on your exit. Again, you want to cut the ice in half, squeeze to one side, and make your opponent vulnerable. I love the fact that they're willing to get in those shooting lanes, they're blocking pucks, but most importantly, it's about pushing to a quadrant of the ice where you are going to get help. And that's exactly what's happened throughout the opening 20 minutes. And the Swiss have done a real nice job of keeping play away from their goaltender. It's
way too early for all of this, but if the Swiss were to win this game, then if Canada won their game, they would be guaranteed to play the winner of the USA-Finland game, because Sweden has already won, and Sweden would play the Swiss. But hey, we got 40 minutes of hockey left and a full 60 minutes from Canada, Slovakia. We'll preview that one next.
Every great play starts with an assist. Off the ice, an assist can change a life. The Hockey Canada Foundation Assist Fund helps kids lace up and play the game we love. Give your greatest assist at hockeycanadafoundation.ca.
From a first game to their biggest game. From Esso medals to gold medals. We are dedicated to Canada's game.
When you've been in Canada for over 230 years, you get around in plastic cups, fancy cups, teacups, these little cups, or no cup at all. From glassware to footwear to everywhere in between. Because it doesn't matter what it's in, it matters where it's from. Molson, everyone in.
This is the story of Gavin, an amateur topiarist who became such a viral sensation that he changed careers and never looked back. Another decision he didn't second guess? Getting Manulife Cover Me health and dental insurance. Prescription allergy pills? Covered. Physiotherapy after a tough day of shrubbery? Covered. With comprehensive coverage from Manulife Cover Me, you can get on with whatever life looks like. Call 1-877-COVER-ME or visit coverme.com to get a quote today.
My name is Detective Christopher Raven. I'm proud to introduce Mercy, a judicial system powered by artificial intelligence.
He thought he created the perfect system until it turned on him.
You're charged with the murder of your wife. If you are innocent, prove it, or you will be executed.
I need to find out who killed my wife.
You have access to every camera, cell phone, and database.
Bring that back. Pause. Can you find out who that is?
You must move from one piece of the puzzle to the next.
No, I have something here.
Oh my God. Mercy. Only in theaters January 23rd.
Tide Oxymax Power Pods one-ups the cleaning power of liquid.
Can it one-up whatever they're doing?
For sure.
Seriously?
One-up the power of liquid, one-up the toughest stains. Any further questions? One-up the power of liquid with Tide Oxymax Power Pods.
This is the ED. It's not for the faint of heart.
Welcome back.
Who else is going to get this place through the 4th of July? I could use a second set of hands.
And so it begins.
Canada, 16 wins and a tie in their history against Slovakia at this tournament, but there have been some close ones in there, including the last quarterfinal 3 years ago in Halifax, where it took that Bedard goal in overtime to win it. That's your showdown tonight.
I mean, we are confident with our game, and we are just confident to play against them, and we try the best to win the game.
You feel like you guys are going to win?
Yeah, for sure. Every game we want to win, so I mean, yeah, for sure.
I don't know if he meant it as a guarantee, but he says Slovakia is going to win tonight. Does that catch your attention?
I guess we'll only have to wait to see. I don't really like to talk before and say some things, but I think we just got to put our head down, go to work, and let them talk, and then let the score be the results.
I'll give it a best shot. I know you don't like to say the lineup before, but we saw Jack leave first. The skate, is he your guy tonight?
Well, I don't really tell until 5 o'clock.
How tough was the decision when it comes to goaltending for this game?
What's that? We got 3 good goalies, so it's always been tough right from the get-go, from summer camp and the camp in Niagara. It was always been tough. When you got 3 good goalies, you got a lot of options.
Get to Dale in just a second. Mark does such a great job on all these interviews, but I don't like it when we make more out of these guarantees. He never really said we're going to guarantee a win. He said we're going to try our best. There's always a language issue where the words don't come out. So, I mean, if Canada wants to use this bulletin board material, fine. There's nothing wrong with what the kid said.
That guy plays for the Sudbury Wolves. Don't do that to my Sudbury guy like that.
Exactly. I think it said they're going to try their best. They hope to win, which is what you'd want. So as you heard Mark say there, so Ivan Kovic leaves the ice first. Usually that means he's the starter. Let's assume for that purpose that he is, even though we won't know the decision until a little bit later on. Bold decision, right decision?
It is the right decision because you know what you're getting in Jack Ivankovic. He has been a comfortable goaltender in intense situations. At the World Juniors specifically, plays against Latvia. That was an intense game last year against Latvia, even though they lost, an intense game. But his hockey resume, especially for Canada, speaks for itself. Under 17, under 18, Hlinka Gretzky gold, best goaltender at the U18s, and now looking for a World Junior gold. This time he has the opportunity to propel them and be the starting goaltender. He's a really dominant goalie where he plays at the University of Michigan.
And I think there's always an assumption with an athlete like Carter George coming into this. Okay, he's going to run it all the way through, and the likelihood of that, it was going to happen. I know that I had been asked the question, do you think it's going to run right through? And I said, listen, that December 31st game is absolutely massive. There's been a lot of goals that have gone by. He's got to be clean. And you let in 4 goals. Yes, you had a clean third period. You got the win, but you've got Jack and Ivankovic right in behind you. It's a bold move. I like the decision as well, Frankie. Difficult one, though, because you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. But hopefully Jack Ivankovic goes in there and puts on a clinic.
We'll find out officially if it's the decision a couple hours before the game tonight. By the way, Ivankovic knows U18s. A shutout in the semis against Slovakia, 4-0, and then another shutout in the gold medal game against Sweden, who played in the first quarterfinal this morning against Latvia. Just 10 seconds into this one, off the turnover, Anton Frundell will find it alone in front, and he has the first goal of the hockey game, 4th goal of the tournament for last year's 3rd overall pick. It's 1-0 Sweden. Now tied at 1, late first. Lucas Pettersson does all the work here. Behind the net, Jack Berglund gets free in front, and backdoor for the goal. 7th point of the tournament for Sweden's captain. It's 2-1. Now 4-1 in the 3rd. More from Frundell. Snipes his 2nd of the game, and you know where this is going. Sweden is off to the semifinals with a 6-3 win. They stayed perfect at the World Juniors. The next quarterfinal comes your way at 6 o'clock Eastern Time, 3 Pacific today. The U.S. and Finland. Decent chance Canada plays one of those 2 teams.
Thank you for your time.
Wow.
Thank you, Kendra. Tim, you're up.
Good morning. So I think really our focus is...
You're frozen.
Are we freezing? No, not today. Not today. Well, the numbers go. If you hear nothing else I say, I am going to let you down. You want to go with Kendra?
Yes.
Poor cable internet connection.
When the stakes are high, why rely on cable internet? Switch to Canada's most reliable internet technology with a 5-year plan price lock, only from TELUS.
Business doesn't wait for someday, and neither do we. As Canadians, we know it's not just your business, it's your future, and it matters. It's a foundation your neighbors depend on and supports the life you're building. Wherever you are in Canada, Merchant Growth backs your small business dreams with financing that fits your business's reality. Because when your business grows, Canada grows with you. Merchant Growth, proud to fuel what's next.
This is the story of Gavin, an amateur topiarist who became such a viral sensation that he changed careers and never looked back. Another decision he didn't second guess? Getting Manulife Cover Me health and dental insurance. Prescription allergy pills? Covered. Physiotherapy after a tough day of shrubbery? Covered. With comprehensive coverage from Manulife Cover Me, you can get on with whatever life looks like. Call 1-877-COVER-ME or visit coverme.com to get a quote today.
They have a dream to fulfill. For the first time in the history of the World Cup.
The World Cup is coming to Canada.
This is the moment we've all been waiting for.
The 2026 IIHF World Junior Championship on TSN is brought to you in part by Wegovy. Visit wegovy.ca for savings. Some exclusions may apply.
First period summary, Leon Mughley's playing in his third World Junior. That was his first goal in 14 games at the tournament, and it gives the Swiss a 1-0 lead after the opening 20 minutes. Gord Miller back with Mike Johnson. We've talked about the success the Swiss have had at the senior men's level, and we're seeing this junior team playing very much the same way.
Yeah, they play a very defensive system, counterattack, and they get the puck in the offense zone. There is a real focus on getting down to the front of the net. Whether you're big or small, whatever it is, whether you do quickness or with strength, but get around the goaltender for screens, deflections, rebounds, and traffic, and they do a really good job of it. They don't overthink it when they get the puck up near the blue line. They put it down there because they know they're going to have support down in front of the net. And Mughley's goal, his first, as you mentioned, would not have gone in without the presence in front of the net. And if you always know there's going to be people there, it makes your decision-making easy on what to do with the puck when you have it, because get it there, get traffic, and good things will happen.
Teams will start the second period 5-on-5. A very even opening period.
And isn't that what Switzerland wants? Keep it as even as possible. Trust their goaltender.
Weber floats that wide of the goal. And Chias has it back. Being shadowed there by Vey. This is what you would not see in the past from the Swiss. A two-man forecheck. And now a chance. A turnover, and Vey put that high.
Should have been in the back of the net.
What they've lacked until recent years was pure finishers. They haven't had the kind of players you can count on to score a lot of goals.
Well, maybe Neuenschwander grows into that next year or two.
Right. Sikora works it with Nestershil. Poke check there by Jonsson. You notice from the Swiss names, they come from different parts of the country. As that shot by Galvis scores! Galvis picks off the pass, walks in, and ties the game at 1. Thomas Galvis ties for the defense point lead with his 8th.
And the entire tournament lead. Right. With his 8th. And what a swing this is in the first minute. Puck's turned over. Vey has it. He's got to put this in the top of the net. He rings it off the shoulder. Oh, 2 more inches, and that's under the bar and in. So it stays 1-0. Go to the other end. We've talked about Galvis and how good he is. You see him slide down, pinch, and stand on top of the forward. Gives him no room, so when it turns over, then he uses his feet, buys some time, gets some space. And he's a wrist shot kind of guy, and he goes top glove to tie the game. But it's all set up with his feet because he sits on the forward to put pressure on him, not to hit him, just to take the puck off him and to make good things happen.
Playing in his 3rd World Junior. It's a family affair for him. His dad played in 2. His older brother played in 2. So all in all, the Galvises have played in 7 World Juniors. And a 1-1 tie here early in the second. As Galvas scores 54 seconds into the second. Rada Maturka sends it back down to the Swiss zone. Maturka missed the start of the tournament for the Czechs. Back out there now. That long shot got through, and Kirsch makes the stop. Look out. Dixon gloves are up. Polatine's into it with Steiner.
They'll give him a couple more sequences of that before a penalty comes. Now watch, Galvas comes off the bench and he just drifts and drifts and drifts and then jumps right on. He doesn't hang on the blue line even when it's on his strong side. He creeps down on it so when it's turned over, he can get possession of it. Then once he has possession, his quick feet and quick hands freeze the forwards before a surprising wrister beats the goalie. I mean, 8 points, that's tied for the tournament lead that was coming into today. Although maybe some of the Swedes passed it with their game.
Czechs have won in the quarterfinals for 4 straight years. Novotny had that knocked away.
I mean, think about on this side of the draw. The games we've been seeing every one of them. Galvas has been as good as any player in the tournament. He's been that good every game.
He and Zane Perek both have 8 points. As you mentioned, that's tied for the tournament point lead. Novotny shoots and Kirsch makes the stop on that. Gavin McKenna's in that mix as well. Michael Hage.
So Galvas undrafted.
Well, okay.
And he is
so
5'10".
Right. 150 pounds he's listed at.
He's probably more like 165, 170. You can just tell by the way he looks under that equipment. And it's hard to play in the NHL at that size when you're a defenseman. It can be done. We've seen guys be really good at it.
The captain here in Minnesota.
Jared Spurgeon pretty darn good at it. Absolutely. Luke Hughes is not, or Quinn Hughes is not a super physical defender, although he's certainly probably bigger than 5'10". Lane Hudson would be the one instant comparable who does a really good job with his size. But you got to be special with your feet, and at this level, Galvas is.
Here's Vey with it. Out to center ice. That skip past Kubiesa. And a race for it. Neuenschwander coming in. Almost knocked that free. Jiricek moves that to Kleba. Swept back in by Dronchak. And Janssen pivots back. Banged off the glass by Janssen, but not out. Kubiesa's got it back. Janssen tries again. And Reber can't move that out. Janssen lost the puck to Kleba. Kleba plays that back, and that point shot by Jiricek is gloved by Kirsch. Among those looking on, there's Shane Doan from the Toronto Maple Leafs, who did not get a chance to play in this tournament. He was
too good too early.
Yeah.
This guy was so good so early. He did play in this tournament before he was drafted.
Yeah, played a couple of them. Jason Spezza with the Pittsburgh Penguins. Doan was drafted by Winnipeg and was healthy scratched by the Jets throughout that World Junior Championship.
Not sure if you want to ask Shane about that experience.
I have. It still bugs him.
That is a very polite way to say it.
Yes. Poked out there by Eschleman, couldn't clear it out.
Both guys' teams coming off big wins. Chris Letang got the overtime winner for Pittsburgh the other day, and Austin Matthews with a hat trick for Toronto.
Sekera slides it across, and that close-in shot taken there by Chias is turned away by Kirsch. Kerbler tries to bank that out, and now kicks away at it. Galvas drops that back. Murtka plays it back down to Chihas. In for Murtka. Brings it back around for Nestershil. That skipped away from him. Sekera comes up for it. Galvas works it free again. The centering pass skipped off a shin pad and bounced right down to Kirsch. Hangs on that and Murtka's into it with Nicholas Blessing.
We'll get Frankie and Cheryl's opinion on this, but another sequence where Galvas sits right on top of the pile, way down by the hash marks, and is able to turn it over. He's got Chihash right there. He's like, you know what? I'm going to come right in behind it and pull it out. And if you're able to get it cleanly, you can take advantage of wingers stuck on the boards or send them in low. And a good defensive play by Eschliman to turn it over. What would have been a good chance. And Chihash has been good in this tournament as well.
Yes,
on his way to Kelowna when this tournament ends.
Yeah, he's playing right now in the Czech Extra League. He's an LA second-round pick, but he's, as you mentioned, going to go to play for the host team of the 2026 Memorial Cup, the Kelowna Rockets.
A little conversation with the Czech bench there. I think the linesman's not feeling right, so they have to explain what the responsibilities will be when they go to.
Yeah, we're down to one linesman here as.
So basically one referee becomes a lineman for face-offs and icings and offsides, but can still call penalties.
Luka Makinen is the Finnish lineman who's left the game here for the moment, so the only one left is Anthony Lapointe from Canada. Gross Nicholas looking for that return pass from Steiner. That misfired. Now back to pick it up is Mugli. His brother Tim played in 2 World Juniors in Canada in 2022 and 23. Onto the up ahead for Steiner jumping in. Jonathan shoots. That's knocked away by Pesanichka. Steiner looks down to Gross Nicholas. I mentioned these Swiss names. You'll hear French, Italian, German. The 3 parts of the country are all represented, and there's icing against the Czechs. And now the Czechs are yelling about the icing call. Again, we're down to 1 linesman.
I think they were yelling because the whistle blew before the puck actually got to the goal line, but it was going to get there, and the Swiss player was not, so maybe a half second too early. But then Rocky Stachowiak was telling the Czech bench, I blew it early so you guys don't change, because they were trying to slide guys on and off after the fact. So our lone linesman is Anthony Laplante from Toronto right now. Something that these guys work on.
Yeah. Old school. Only 3 officials on the ice.
Fewer complaints about pucks bouncing off officials' feet.
Now, there always used to be 2 linesmen, but
1 fewer guy out there, though.
It is funny to think about 1 referee working games.
Yeah.
Blessing goes back, and again they're hollering at the officials.
All right, so Luka Makinen was the other linesman. He's coming into the fray. Not much going on there. Little contact, but perhaps he's feeling the effects of that little collision right away. That is a pulling. It looks like a pull.
Right.
And you see his frustration.
He's back. Makinen's back. Whatever's pulled is all better.
All right.
Well, probably not all better, but Blessing back for it. Neuenschwander, nifty chip ahead for Vey. Vey winds it back across. Neuenschwander centers it. Oh, what a stop in tight by Orszalak. Terrific save there on John Meyer. Great puck movement by the Swiss. And even better save by Orszalak.
What a stop by Orszalak. This is beautiful puck movement. Driving the zone, kicking it wide. Everyone filling in, and a really good look on the forehand for Meyer. He one-times it, what you want to do, pass it right where he needs it. He just doesn't get high enough, Gord. You got to get it above the pad and above the glove, sitting on the pad. And Meyer, who is a defenseman, pretty prolific scorer playing for the under-20 team in Frölunda. He's got 6 goals, so it's not like he can't score. He just missed his target, didn't elevate.
And the general manager in Frölunda is an old teammate of yours, Freddie Shoestring.
Yeah, Freddie Shoestring. I saw him in the gym this morning. He looks great. Looks like he can still play.
All the Swedes are annoying that way.
Yeah.
Jiricek plays it back across. Deberger had his shot blocked. And now a backhand shot by Klima. And Kirsch makes the save on that.
Here's one more look at the save. Neuenschwander steps through. Vey jumps on the puck and Sinichka gets caught standing still with a bad read, but bailed out by his goaltender. See Orsulak's body language there? He was already loading up to go right. See how his right side was low? He was loading up to slide because he knew that seam pass was likely on its way, and that gave him a chance to get there early and take as much net away as he could.
That centering pass by Nestershil goes astray. Chopped at by Antonen, can't clear it out. And Samsonov lost the puck to Murtka. Now here is Steiner. Up for Antonen, working in for Gross-Nicholas. That pass missed him. And a penalty coming out of the Czechs. It's going to be a high sticking call to Murtka. And so with 13:47 to go in the second period, the Swiss are going to the power play in a 1-1 tie here in Minneapolis.
Do you mind if I ask you a question? What do you make?
Well, apparently the average person makes 6 friends a year, makes 7 jokes a day, and makes about 19 people blush. We'll make 1.4 babies. Make sense of that math. On average, you make a life that is by no means average. And then you make a mean grilled cheese. Scotiabank. You're richer than you think.
4 weeks ago, we washed my dog's blanket, and it still smells great, all thanks to Downy Unstoppables. I was concerned that the scent would be overpowering. It was the opposite. It's the perfect amount. I genuinely love Unstoppables. One of the best things you'll ever buy.
From a first game to their biggest game. From Esso medals to gold medals. We are dedicated to Canada's game.
Switzerland ahead to the power play as Murtka gets caught for a high stick on the back cheek. He's trying to swipe this puck away from Gross-Nicholas, and as Gross-Nicholas skates by him, he gets him right under the chin accidentally, but no doubt he got him. And Switzerland to their second power play.
Check in number 6 as a 2-minute minor for high sticking.
And there's the linesman. Luka Mäkinen back, so the Swiss 0 for 1 on the power play. Had a good first look. They had 3 shots, a couple of great looks.
They don't overpass. We talked about screens and shots. They'll be doing more of the same.
And their goal was scored moments after that power play ended. Here is Janssen back at the point. In for Reber. Reber fires the save made by Orsulak. Loose puck at the side of the goal. Orsulak couldn't find it for a moment. Neuenschwander back to Janssen. For Neuenschwander. Chris Gossett with Steiner. Lars Steiner plays the Quebec League for Ren Noranda. Back to Janssen. Steiner looks down to Neuenschwander. Shoots, scores! Slammed home by Yamiro Reber, and the power play goal gives Switzerland lead right back. And the Swiss take advantage.
Reber gets his first of the tournament. But it's Neuenschwander who's been really good in this game. Really noticeable. Juracek knows he's back there, but uh-oh. Right through the wickets. You pass it hard enough. Bit of a no-looker. It's a wrist shot through there. Oh, it's a sauce, too. Oh, he sauced it over Finnegar's stick and then through Juracek's feet. And all you got to do is tap that thing home. Good, strong bottom hand by Reber. But that pass was elite-level stuff from Neuenschwander. And Switzerland takes advantage of their opportunities to take the lead once again.
Reber plays for HV 71 in the Swedish Hockey League in Jönköping, Sweden. 3 goals in 22 games there. His dad, York, played the 1994 World Junior Championship in Czechia. And icing called against the Czechs. That was an elite play by Neuenschwander.
I thought that was just an ice pass. This is better than that. It is a sauce zipper and a tight sauce, which means you don't get it very hard in the air. You just clear his stick. Look how low that is, and then lands so flat. Perfect. And it had to be a rocket. You better recognize how good that one was, and Reber certainly does. What a feed.
The first point of the tournament for Neuenschwander.
Highlight real stuff for a pass.
Mon plays it back down to Politin. And the Czechs trailing again. Politin. Pesanichka shoots. Bouncing puck loose. And Eschleman knocks that down. Lifts it back to center ice. Pesanichka back to pick it up. Looks ahead for Benak. He falls. The centering pass knocked away by Mugli. Kerbler in behind Eschleman. And chipped back down to the Czech zone. 17-12, the shots on goal in favor of the Czechs, but the Swiss lead for the second time. Oh, what a little delay there by Meyer. That forced Galvas to fall. Now chipped back across, and that pass bounced away from Moradori. Katan plays it back in. Murtka moves that for Novotny. Picked up by Curran. That pass picked up by Blessing up the center ice. Murtka knocks it down. Puck still rolling there, and Blessing finally chops it back to center. Murtka across to Galvas. And Curran lifts it back down. That's stopped by Kirsch. Blessing being harassed by two Czech forecheckers. Plays it back around, waiting for it is Steiner. Lifts that back down to the Czech line. Still to come today, the United States will take on Finland in the third quarterfinal. And the nightcap here tonight, Canada against Slovakia. And memories of that classic in Halifax, the quarterfinal in 2023, the brilliant goal by Connor Bedard in overtime. After the Slovaks very nearly won it right before.
Somehow, even though Canada won that game, it feels like the Slovakian players here take great momentum out of it. Belief.
As that pass knocked down and brought back out by Jonsson. Vey chips it ahead. Trying to find Antonin. And Antonin wins that battle for the puck. Antonin still on it. Crisscrossing with Vey. Antonin. Lost the puck to Jiricek. And Sansonon plays it back around for Jonsson. Jonsson lines through traffic. That's picked off by Hawk. Drops it back to Novotny. Then bumped back down to the Swiss zone. Kirsch plays that to Jansson's got time, finds Reber. Here come the Swiss again. Reber fires that back down to the Czech zone. Neuensch wanted the first man there. Shovels that back. Ustinkov plays it back. Reber fires, goes off the leg of Mann. Pesanichka, lead pass finds Klima, moving in, shoots, and the save is made by Kirsch. 9:59 to go here in the second period. And Yamiro Reber has the Swiss up by 1.
This pass, but Tavares keeps it going, and it's John Tavares behind the net to the other front. John Tavares! They finally caught lightning in a bottle.
At OK Tire, we service small vehicles. We service big vehicles. And we service vehicles that make big vehicles look like small vehicles.
This is the ED. It's not for the faint of heart.
Welcome back.
Who else is going to get this place through the 4th of July?
I could use a second set of hands.
And so it begins.
Czechia find themselves trailing 2-1, almost tied up. Max Curran, who's been good in this tournament, hasn't scored yet. Ooh. Puck just skips on him. You got to time it. He goes right underneath it. That would have been a swipe into the empty net if you could time it on the first bounce or wait a half second. Curran was just a hair late, and a fortunate bounce for Switzerland to keep them ahead in this game.
Curran with an Irish dad, but born in Czechia. Shots are 9-4 Czechs here in the second. Kubiesa spins that back to Pesanichka. At the point, Mann to Pesanichka. Back to Mann. Pesanichka. Trying to shoot that through the traffic, and that's blocked again by Kerbler. He's been good at that here this afternoon. Now, chance for Dennis. Moves it and scores! Samuel Dronchak ties the game for the Czechs with 9.5 to go in the second period. In just his second game for Czechia.
Leaning on the cycle. It all breaks down here by Meier drops his stick. Oh, because he runs in the official. He sticks his stick in the skates of the official. When he goes to pick it up, all of a sudden the coverage is broken down, and Granats is able to step around Eschleman, head up, and zip it 5. Well, that's a good shot. Had to get it above the pad, below the pants, and squeezes it through 5-hole. Oh, by the right foot as well.
Dronchak plays for the Red Deer Rebels in the Western Hockey League.
And Meier, after the puck went in, went right to the official complaining. Nothing you can do.
Right, it's
part of the rub of the green, part of the rink.
Nestrashil plays that around. So the Czechs have once again equalized here as Galvas plays it back. Galvas back down to Nestrashil. Nestrashil spins that back down to Chihas. Nestrashil. Chihas back across to Galvas. It's crunched there by Katan. And the Czechs have tilted the ice here in the second period. And that long drive by Galvas is gloved by Kirsch.
And it's hard to tell players in this tournament to be patient, to stick with it. And Czechia doing just that. There's the stick drop tangle. Meier goes to get it. Granat comes right down the middle, and nice little step and finish to tie the game.
Dronchak's in his third year playing for Red Deer in the Western League. And Red Deer will be one of the host cities for next year's tournament. As that shot by Politin is knocked down by Kirsch. Better chance, score! It's Jiricek from the angle, and the Czechs have grabbed the lead. Check again. 44 seconds after the Czechs tied the game. They've now got a 3-2 advantage.
And Jiricek, who's got the big shot, jumps on a rebound, crazy Carroll. Kirsch is slow to spot it. He doesn't know where the puck is. Kirsch is not even working to get back to the net, and Jiricek slips down from his point position. Jumps on a loose puck, and what? Kirsch's body language here. No idea where the puck is. None whatsoever. Not retreating to his post, and an easy one for Jiricek, who now has 4 in the tournament for the big shooting defenseman.
That ties him for the D goal-scoring lead with Zane Parekh of Canada.
They opened the game talking about Galvas and Jiricek. And here they are.
They've been big parts of it, and again, they're very different, but very effective. So Reber fires it into the Swiss trail for the first time in the game. But this second period has seen the Czechs assert themselves. Pesanichka fires that down, busting back, and icing called against Czechia.
And you keep playing in the offensive zone, you keep leaning on the opponent, you will get chances. You saw one, the breakdown with Meier's drop stick. And Granats' goal, and this one by Jiricek. And you're wondering why Kirsch had such trouble following it. I don't think he realized the puck had been cleared to the boards. I think he thought it was still around the skates of the people in front, because...
See Robert Reichel, the assistant coach, celebrating behind the Czech bench.
Pretty prolific international player of his own.
Hart sends that to Novotny. And Novotny's shot knocked away by Kirsch. Shots in the period now 13-4 in favor of the Czechs. Hart winds in, shoots. Kirsch glove save. And he'll squeeze that.
Christian Kirsch came into this game one of the best goaltenders in the tournament, and riding a very tidy .950 save percentage.
Played the first game against the United States.
Right, it's not like he played,
20 shots.
Didn't play against bad teams. He's gonna have to be good, better the rest of this game. He's been fine, but he's gonna have to be better than that the rest of the way for Switzerland to have a chance. If you were to ask him, the Galvas wrister, good shot, but not unstoppable. Losing track of a rebound also.
Galva's shot was blocked by Catin. Well, the Swiss specialty here has been staying within shouting distance, keeping games close. Kubiesa mines in. Shoots from a sharp angle, knocked away by Kirsch. Back at the point, Galva shoots, that goes wide. On the other side, Klimo with a chance. Loose puck in front, Kubiesa battling for it. And Kirsch has it, and now, very quickly, Borodori grabbed a hold of Kubiesa in front.
And you can hear the ref's voice.
They're going to take the 2 11s.
More scrambles around the front of the net, draw traffic in the scrums afterwards. And Czechia keeps on pushing closely. Galvas walking, goes against the grain, back against off the backboards, and Kirsch has to be wise to that one and to get across quickly as trying to bank it in again off his shoulder for Borodori and Kubiesa.
Number 11
gets
and
tangled
Swiss
up.
number 11, both 2 minutes each for roughing.
Well, that's a good try by Klima, getting it up a little bit. Kirsch had to be sharp. We certainly know that Czechia doesn't mind this stuff after the whistle. We've seen it throughout the tournament. No one's really going to back down at this point.
Faceoff comes outside as the Czech D had jumped into the fray. And Blessing back to pick it up.
Czech D would say we're always down there. Not because there's a scrum, because that's where we play, down around the net.
Grosnicklas moves in, shoots, and Orszalak makes the stop, and there's no rebound.
So at some point with these scrums occurring every whistle, the refs have to start taking 1 or 2. And this is a little bit too obvious. The headlock from Borodori, a couple punches from Kubiesa, and the one linesman trying to break up 2. That's not always the easiest.
Anthony Lapointe, the Canadian linesman, trying to...
He's got 1 in each hand. We call that the Dustin Byfuglien.
Okay, oh yeah.
Control each guy with 1 hand and you're fine.
Chihas can't clear it out. Blessing knocks it down for Grosnicklas. Meyer steps up. That was swept away from him by Jiricek. And Grosnicklas back with it. Meyer up ahead for Steiner. And Pippiger back to pick it up. Nestrashil banks it off the sideboards. And Janssen knocks it down. Antonin was knocked off stride by Nestrashil. And that puck bounces into the Czech bench.
Ask for Wegovy by name. Visit wegovy.ca for savings.
6:40 to go here in the second period. Switzerland will be the host country for the upcoming World Men's Hockey Championship in Freiburg and Zurich in May. Can think of worse places to be in May than there.
I've never been to Zurich before.
Oh, it's
in my life.
Beautiful. It is. I mean,
the airport only, but never the city.
It is beyond spectacular. Canada's group will play in Freiburg to start. The semifinals, bronze and gold medal games are in Zurich, along with the other group. Now a bouncing puck side of the goal, squirted away from Kirsch for a moment. Politin looks back. I've not yet seen an unattractive part of Switzerland, to be honest.
Fair enough.
Reber moves it back in. And again, Swiss players, they are wearing black armbands in honor of the victims of that horrible New Year's Eve fire in Crans-Montana. And many of the victims are the age of these Swiss players. Late teens, early 20s. Benak got a shot away for a moment. And now Vey back with it. Chance for a 3-on-2 for the Swiss. But they're changing as Vey posts up and slides that back to Ustinkov. Chipped back in by Körbler. Vesanichka. Out to center ice. Benak hammers it back down to the Swiss zone. And Galvas back with it. Rossi goes to Mirka. Through the middle for Hook. Well, the play is called offside at the Swiss line. The Czechs strike twice in 44 seconds and have grabbed the lead here in the second period on quarterfinal Friday at the 2026 World Junior Hockey Championship.
At Wayfair, we bring style to every get-together. Oh, they brought wings.
You mean these wingback chairs? Dive in, everyone. We brought plenty.
We brought the sides.
Everybody remember to leave room.
Yeah, bring that over here.
We brought the ranch.
Ooh, that looks like it's fresh from the farmhouse.
Wings and ranch? Now it's a party.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
From a first game to their biggest game. From Esso medals to gold medals. We are dedicated to Canada's game.
Inspired by the strength of a diamond, every stitch reflects our resilience, pride, and belonging, forged through time and pressure. Canada's 2026 Olympic jersey, a symbol forged in ice.
PWHL continues tomorrow as the Golden Eyes play the Fleet in Detroit. Coverage gets underway at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific on TSN. That is one of those takeover tours in Detroit. Been wildly successful as they travel around North America in different non-PWHL markets. My eyes are so bad. Does that say Fleet or Frost? Because I was reading, not looking at the logo.
You got it right. It's the Fleet.
Well, I saw Detroit underneath them. There's no team in Detroit. Big hits.
Vlasic got steamrolled there by Dranchak. Galvis plays it back to Klima. That shot goes off the stick of Kubiesa. Back to Dranchak, who has one of the Czech goals. Back across Mirka. Pivots back at the line. Back for Galvis. Meyer chips that back around, waiting for his blessing. And back out to center ice. Inside 5 to go here in the second period. Sweden is already in the semifinals after their win over Latvia earlier today. The United States and Finland about to get underway. And that's brought back in by Chias. Rebound, score! Sikora! And the Czechs are up by 2.
Czechs putting on it now. Sikora jumps on a rebound and buries it, but the speed of Chihash makes it happen. And don't stay on your backhand side by threatening to drive to the net. You freeze the net front defense, and Blessing doesn't create an angle. And Meyer has to stay deep, which allows the rebound to kick out to Sikora. And Sikora drops to a knee, gets his body wheeled around, and shovels it over the pad of Kirsch.
3 goals in 5 minutes for the Czechs. And they got a 4-2 lead.
But all that patience, staying with it, getting pucks to the net, getting bodies around it, paying off now with pucks going past Kirsch.
Yeah, the shots are 15-5 Czechs in the second. I'm not sure how you peel the paint off the walls in the Czech language, but Coach Patrick Augusta might have done that in the first intermission. Ross Nicholas back on it. Janssen. That shot hit a leg in front. It was blocked by Mann. Steiner. Back for Janssen. Shoots. That goes off the leg of Curran. Now banked back out by Curran. Back down to the Swiss zone. Swiss have been 7th or 8th in the last 4 World Juniors. Play back. Muglia shot. And the glove save by Barschlag.
Look for Switzerland. This is a tough matchup. Czechia is as good as any team in this group. And the speed and the attacking, it's hard to handle. And eventually it is starting to break down Switzerland's coverage. Meyer gets stuck a little deep. What discipline by Sikora, he stops at the hash marks to give himself space, and then he's able to attack going forward.
He's wearing the full cage, by the way, after getting clipped with a stick earlier in the tournament. His first goal since he scored against Canada on Boxing Day, and this is his 20th birthday. He's the second oldest player in the tournament. Liam Greentree of Canada turned 20 yesterday. That's the oldest you could be in the tournament.
Right.
Born on January 1st, 2006. This tournament open to players born in 06 or later. Next year in Edmonton and Red Deer. Neuenschwander. Later than 06 and 09 born.
Doesn't look so loose.
Yeah. Andreas Huber urging him on. Just once I want a player to turn back to the outback. We're trying, okay? Like, grab a stick, you try it.
There's been some instances of that in the NHL. Refs yelling at guys to move it. Guys, I don't have to.
That puck appeared to hit.
That hit the side rounded glass.
Rounded stanchion.
Which is out of play.
There was a famous incident in baseball where Reggie Jackson, after a called strike, turned and handed the umpire his bat and said, if that's a strike, you try to hit it. He was ejected for that.
Not surprisingly.
Tatar shoots, and Vladimir Jiricek went slowly back to the Czech bench and appears to be laboring. It'd be bad news for the Czechs if that were to be anything that would keep them out of a game, as that pass eludes Reber.
He's a big, strong defender. You don't see him look like he's in much discomfort very often. He was calling for the whistle. He was on top of it, but something happened.
Right.
You don't drop to your knees in the middle of a shift, do you? Is he limping? He is limping on the way off.
Jiricek 2 years ago got hurt in his first game of the World Junior in Gothenburg. Tore his ACL and missed the bulk of the rest of the season as that's poked out by Steiner. Nestrashil back on it for the Czechs. That pass bounced away from Murtka. One of 3 first-round picks on this Czech roster. Galvis drops it back. Sikora shoots. Rebound loose in front. Kirsch is down. And the puck is cleared away by Steiner, but his stick was knocked out of his hands by Sikora. And the Czechs keep it onside. Sikora back with it. Kirsch makes the save, and the rebound knocked away by Samsonov. And you see Steiner without a stick. And Swiss trying to sort up their defensive positioning here as Murk shoots. Kirsch save. Rebound skips up, and he quickly grabs that.
Jiricek looks no worse for wear back on the ice. That's great news for Czechia. Maybe he took a slash in the midsection a little bit there. It was one of the things, if it's a soft tissue thing, groin or something, you might be thinking, okay, do we play him in the third period? We have a game in 2 days, the semifinals, but
tomorrow's a day off. The semis are on Sunday. The gold and bronze medal game on Monday.
He leads the tournament in ice time per game.
Right.
24.5.
Neuenschwander wins that face-off back to Mugli, who opened the scoring for the Swiss in the first period. They led the game 1-0 and 2-1. And then the Czechs reeled off 3 consecutive goals in a 5-minute span to take the 4-2 lead here in the second period. Fibbiger pass ahead to Sikora, moving in with Politin. Sikora, as they go off Mugli, Politin plays that to the corner. Politin got knocked down by Mugli, and quickly Curran came over on him, and Curran grabs a hold of Mugli.
That's a good hit. Stood him upright.
And Politin is still down. I think they just said these two.
Mugli should get nothing, unless you're going to give him something for the hit. He just stood there and was... Well, doesn't that look clean as clean can be?
Yeah.
Put it right through the center of his chest. And what's Mugli supposed to do when a guy comes charging at him? And how's Benach? He drops his stick, and he's going to the bench. Give me a new one. Perfect, thanks. Not that one. That one's not very good. Give me, come on, what are we doing here?
So the officials are huddling here. Referees Rocco Stachowiak of the United States and Andreas Huber of Austria.
Very simply, Czechia should come out of this exchange shorthanded. Whether you want to give Curran 4 and Mugli 2.
I would say, let's go 2.
There's what I say it, 2 and 4. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that hit. Nothing whatsoever.
Right. And then Curran grabs.
Elbows down, tucked in. No, he didn't even hit in the head. That wasn't head contact. He put it into the crest on the jersey.
Feet planted.
Nothing at all. Here, you get a better look at it. He did not touch him in the head. And I think we heard them saying, either give Curran 2 and Mugli nothing, or Curran 4 and Mugli 2.
Right.
Either way, Swiss deserve a power play out of this.
Mugli did respond, so maybe gets a roughing penalty, but
it would.
Here's the call from Andreas Huber.
Switzerland number 41 and Czech player, both 2 minutes for roughing.
Terrible.
We're playing 5 on 5.
It's terrible. That's a bad call. That's not a great feel for the game. Augusta thinks there should be something more for the hit. There should not. Now, I get why a coach would ask. They're always going to protect their players. I would say watch the replay is totally fine. But I just, you're rewarding the guy who goes out of his way and puts his fist in Mugli's face, puts him in a headlock. It's not interference. He just had the puck. It's not charge. He just turned into him.
And Curran goes right now.
Yeah, so he put his stick up to protect himself, but you got to get a double minor for rough.
Now, Henry is going to serve the penalty. Mugli went to the Swiss dressing room.
Well, if it's coincidental minors, it doesn't matter. You're done to the middle of the next through the intermission anyways.
But someone's going to be in the box, so there's 7.6 seconds left here.
You don't have to put it in the box here. You can just leave it empty until the start of you have to put someone in the box to even for the intermission coming up.
IHF rules someone's got to be in the box.
Well, then you should put Mugli in there so you have everybody on your bench that you'd want.
He might be in the cold tub already. Face off one back. Here's Jiricek. Wrist shot block. Vey back with it. And that second period belongs to Czechia, down 2-1 early. They come back with 3 straight. And we'll go to the dressing room with a 4-2 lead after 40 minutes of play on quarterfinal Friday at the 2026 World Juniors.
Goes like this, start with a track, eyes on me, watching my back, just like this, here for the night, no one biting in, just keep watching. Goes like this, move from the back, eyes on me, hate like that, just like this, here for the night, no one biting in, just keep watching. Just keep watching.
On a crisp winter night, by a couch twice their size, gathered a family who saw things with childlike eyes. What was this festive feel? Why the Tim's holiday meal? There were lattes and donuts topped off with Biscoff, flatbread pizzas with festive fun socks. Let's light up the tree, we heard them cheer. Oh, well, they laughed. A small blunder, my dear. So if you too want that magical feel, feed your inner child with the Tim's holiday meal.
When you've been in Canada for over 230 years, you get around. In plastic cups, fancy cups, teacups, these little cups, or no cup at all. From glassware to footwear to everywhere in between. Because it doesn't matter what it's in, it matters where it's from. Molson. everyone in.
This is the story of Gavin, an amateur topiarist who became such a viral sensation that he changed careers and never looked back. Another decision he didn't second guess? Getting Manulife Cover Me health and dental insurance. Prescription allergy pills? Covered. Physiotherapy after a tough day of shrubbery? Covered. With comprehensive coverage from Manulife Cover Me, you can get on with whatever life looks like. Call 1-877-COVER-ME or visit coverme.com to get a quote today.
Tide Oxymax Power Pods one-ups the cleaning power of liquid.
Can it one-up whatever they're doing?
For sure.
Seriously?
One-up the power of liquid, one-up the toughest stains. Any further questions? One-up the power of liquid with Tide Oxymax Power Pods.
This holiday season, give the gift of endless entertainment.
All right, should we roll?
Right now. Get Crave starting at $3.99 a month for your first 3 months. And stream hit series.
Okay, on my couch.
Canadian Crave Originals.
Where is the elevator?
It's busted.
Plus, bring on the festive magic with iconic classics.
Best time of the year.
Get Crave starting at $3.99 a month for your first 3 months. Ends January 12th. Terms apply. Only available at crave.ca/subscribe.
James Duthie back with you for the second intermission. What a period for Czechia. 4 goals, including 3 in a 5-minute span to lead 4-2. Samuel Drončák scored the 2-2 goal. He's with Kenzie.
Samuel, our team putting up 4 goals in that period. So what changed from the first period to the second period to generate that offense?
I think just we just shoot more and have like better shots, better scoring opportunities, and we bar down. So I think that's the main difference. But I think we still believe in ourselves because we are a better team than them. So yeah.
Well, your goal tied it up. This is just your second game with Czechia. So what did that goal mean to you?
No, I think just my teammates did a really great job, and I get the puck in the slot, and it was just me or a goalie, and yeah, I'm glad I scored.
What do you need to see from your team in this third period to come away with a win?
Still good skating, good forecheck, and I think just don't give them chance to have like some scoring chances.
Best of luck.
Yeah, thank you so much.
I always love the intermission interviews in the World Juniors because they're not yet, you know, the jaded NHL guys who are sick of it and just say pucks deep all the time. So good for them. There's Cheryl Pounder, there's Frankie Corrado, and good for Czechia. This is why they're legitimate gold medal contenders, because a team like Switzerland that's been so stingy this entire tournament, and you go put 4 on them in that period. How'd they do it?
Well, I mean, it's their depth, and you heard MJ talking about Jurčák as well as Galvas, but it's also their depth up front. I mean, you look at any line and they can score and put the puck in the net. Well, that's a wave that can wear you down, and Mike was talking about the slide by number 23, Galvas. Look at him just slide down, recognize to anticipate, knowing that that puck was going to be turned over. So he's going to get numero uno, and then a breakdown of the cycle. Meyer loses his stick. So now all of a sudden it's to the middle of the ice. Danchak in his second game is able to get a goal off the face-off now. All of a sudden you get that initial shot, and you can see that Kirsch is way at the top of his paint, and then it's going to be Jurčák to put it in, and then love this play by Chias using that left leg to shield to drive the dot, and it's going to be Sekar who comes in to put it away. So you're seeing, you know, 2 defensemen from 2 different pairings and a couple guys from 2 different lines, and collectively that's just depth. That's a continuous wave. They're a real contender.
You know, usually Canadian players at this tournament, they get 1 crack, maybe 2 cracks most. It's mind-boggling to me that Jonas Neuenschwander could play in 5 of these before he's done.
Jimmy, in June 2027, I want to see my phone light up with a text from you saying, hey, pal, your guy just got drafted, because Jonas Neuenschwander, this is my pony now for 2027. This kid is unbelievable. A 16-year-old playing in this tournament. Watch the hands through the neutral zone, quick little play, but he sets himself up. Definitive action on this one. He doesn't get the goal. I mentioned he was 16. Clean face-off win. He's done that all tournament, and ultimately this leads to the setup. Mike Johnson pointed this out. This is an unbelievable saucer pass. There's heat on that thing. That's not your meatball sauce that goes 3 feet in the air. This kid is incredibly talented. I'm not going to say that he's like the next Jack Hughes or anything like that, but he's 6'3", and he has shades of Jack Hughes' game. I would be really excited about the potential of what this kid could be.
And Neuschwander probably won't get 5 because at 19, if he continues trekking the way he is, he probably won't get the one as the 19-year-old. But terrific so far. Remember Brad Lambert, the Finnish player who was Canadian. Bob and I used to joke, it felt like he was there 6 years in a row at the World Juniors. Neuschwander in his second at just 16, but trailing by 2.
Canada's Ultimate 50-50 is back. 3 huge draws across the country. It's Hockey Canada's biggest power play yet. Score your chance to win at hockeycanada5050.ca or scan the QR code on your screen.
When you've been in Canada for over 230 years, you get around. In plastic cups, fancy cups, teacups, these little cups, or no cup at all. From glassware to footwear to everywhere in between. Because it doesn't matter what it's in. It matters where it's from. Molson. Everyone in.
This is the story of Gavin, an amateur topiarist who became such a viral sensation that he changed careers and never looked back. Another decision he didn't second guess? Getting Manulife Cover Me health and dental insurance. Prescription allergy pills? Covered. Physiotherapy after a tough day of shrubbery? Covered. With comprehensive coverage from Manulife Cover Me, you can get on with whatever life looks like. Call 1-877-COVER-ME or visit coverme.com to get a quote today.
This is the Mercy Capital Court, powered by artificial intelligence. Detective Raven, you're charged with the murder of your wife.
I'm not guilty.
You have 90 minutes to prove it, or you will be executed.
Use the tools.
Every camera, cell phone, and database is at your disposal.
Show me everyone she had contact with. She was seeing someone. Solve the mystery. Can I see my daughter's socials?
Hear that?
Someone was in my basement. Or face execution.
You're running out of time.
Bring that back? No, I have something here. Oh my God.
Mercy. Only in theaters, January 23rd.
Hey, sweaty. Sweetie, you good?
Someone stole my Old Spice antiperspirant. Now I'm smelling like perspirant.
I did. Force 24/7 sweat protection.
You did this to my bitch.
After a night out with your friends, not having a plan for a safe ride home can leave you in a bad spot. You could end up riding in an ambulance, a police car, or a hearse. These unplanned modes of transportation can be a costly choice and do not take you home. Your plan could include a designated driver, a taxi, or public transit. Drink responsibly, choose your ride, and have a plan for a safe ride home.
Visit ArriveAlive.org to find out more.
Every great play starts with an assist. Off the ice, an assist can change a life. The Hockey Canada Foundation Assist Fund helps kids lace up and play the game we love. Give your greatest assist at hockeycanadafoundation.ca.
Team Canada has arrived here at the home of the Minnesota Golden Gophers. We are just over 2 hours away from their quarterfinal, the last one of the day against Slovakia. Mark Masters chatted with Gavin McKenna.
Gavin, what stands out about the mood around the group now that we're into the knockout stage of the World Juniors?
Yeah, we're all very excited. We know Slovakia is going to give us a hard game. Obviously, we want to make it past the quarters. The last 2 years haven't done that, so we're excited and we're motivated.
You learned anything from that quarterfinal last year that you carry into tonight?
Yeah, I think just how, every single play is so big. Obviously, it's an elimination game back against the wall, so every little detail matters. Staying disciplined, obviously, that was obviously a big key for us last year. That kind of sent us out, but our group this year, we're smart and we're excited.
What stands out about Team Slovakia? They gave the U.S. a scare. They've been in some close games here.
Yeah, I think they're a very defensively sound team. Yeah, obviously tight games. World Juniors, they're all pretty much one-goal games, tight games. So being comfortable in those situations is key. And I think this group has a lot of confidence in those situations. As you've seen in this tournament, we've been in close games and found a way to win.
What do you like on a personal level about these moments, elimination game hockey?
Yeah, I mean, this is what you live for. Obviously, World Juniors elimination game is pretty cool. And yeah, I think just getting to that next game, obviously we want to focus on today, but the end goal is to win a gold medal, and it all starts with today.
Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
McKenna, of course, one of 6 returning players, and this team is so different than that team last year that went out in the quarters in Ottawa that only scored 13 goals. They have 25 so far, and all 3 of the top 3 lines have taken their turns having a night so far, Frankie. But the Hage line really hasn't had an off night yet.
That's the line that has been the most consistent, and really that's the line that hit the ground running, even if you go back to the pre-tournament game. So what do I expect from Team Canada's lines tonight? Well, they're well positioned for someone to have a night. Go back to the Czech game, the first one, it was the Hage line. The Latvia game, it was the power play featuring members of the Hage line. Versus Denmark, Misa and Martone combined for 6 points, so they came to life. And then last game against Finland, it was Baudouin with 2 goals. So you got some contribution from your third line. Within the top 9, everyone has had their turn, but one thing has been constant. McKenna, Hage, Martin have been the most consistent line. I expect them to go to another level now that they have another game under their belt.
Gavin McKenna touched on this. Usually to win a World Juniors, 2 things. You have to be disciplined. You have to have a really good power play. Canada has had both so far in this tournament. They've been only shorthanded 9 times, only given up 1 goal. Lowest time shorthanded in the tournament. And their power play, 7 for 13, a 54% clip. How has it clicked so well?
Well, we were just talking about that Hage line. When every single member of that line is on your first unit and you add Reshny, who's 62% in the dot, you're winning the face-off. So you're starting with that possession. You've got Parekh on the blue line. He can maneuver up there. You've got someone like Brady Martin who really can create havoc down in the crease. And then you've got the creativity of a Hage and a McKenna. So now all of a sudden you've got the full gamut, the ability to move the puck. So what I'm seeing when you've got everyone on that first unit who has actually scored a power play goal, what's the option if you're the PK? What's the greatest threat? They're all a threat, and that is one of the most difficult things to do, is to defend a power play where you're not sure where that puck is going, because every player can score.
Slovakia has only won 2 medals in their history at this tournament, both bronze in 1999 and 2015, trying to pull off the upset of the day. Sweden, no upset in that game. They beat Latvia. They're off to the semis. The Americans and the Finns are already underway. They're about midway through the first period. No score yet in that one. And in this one, the Czechs with a massive second period to take a 2-goal lead over the Swiss. 20 minutes to go.
Just keep watching.
Across Canada, it starts the same way. A love for the game that unites us all. From hometown rinks to the world stage, we rise together. Every stride, every save, every dream, shared by every girl who's ever picked up a stick.
It's her shot, rebound in front, she scores!
Because when one rises, we all rise. Rise as one.
When you've been in Canada for over 230 years, you get around. In plastic cups, fancy cups, teacups, these little cups, or no cup at all. From glassware to footwear to everywhere in between. Because it doesn't matter what it's in, it matters where it's from. Molson, everyone in.
When I was about 15 weeks pregnant with my first son, I was in a car accident where I hit a fridge driving on the 401. That really jolted me to say, okay, you know what, I'm having this baby. We need a plan to be in place. I felt really relieved to have it checked off my list and know my kids are going to be taken care of. And if something happens to me, everyone knows what I would like to happen. I'm Janine, and I'm a Willful customer.
Willful makes it easy to create a legal will online from the comfort of home without the cost or hassle of visiting a lawyer. Visit willful.co to start your will today.
This is the Mercy Capital Court, powered by artificial intelligence. Detective Raven, you're charged with the murder of your wife.
I'm not guilty.
You have 90 minutes to prove it, or you will be executed.
Use the tools.
Every camera, cell phone, and database is at your disposal.
Show me everyone she had contact with. She was seeing someone. Solve the mystery. Can I see my daughter's socials?
Hear that?
Someone was in my basement. Or face execution.
You're running out of time.
Bring that back? No, I have something here. Oh my God.
Mercy. Only in theaters January 23rd.
Came for the tourney? Journey is a contest for knights. You a knight?
I
like a squire for you, sir. Every knight needs a squire. You look like you need one more than most.
If I could call myself a champion, maybe House Targaryen might take me in.
Targaryens, they're incestuous aliens. And tyrants.
So, Sir Duncan the Tall, how good a knight are you?
The 2026 IIHF World Junior Championship on TSN is brought to you in part by Wegovy. Visit wegovy.ca for savings. Some exclusions may apply.
Czechs tied the game early in the first period. The goal by Thomas Galvis, but then Reber restores the Swiss one-goal lead. Remember, Reber gets a second, but then back come the Czechs with 3 in 5 minutes. Dranchak, followed by Jiricek, and then Sikora gets his second on his 20th birthday. And the Czechs have a 4-2 lead rather, after 2. Gord Miller back here with Mike Johnson, and we began the game talking about the 2 defensemen, Thomas Galvis and Adam Jiricek, and they've been a big part of this.
We appreciate them coming through for us. We talk about them, they play really well, but it's not surprising because they have both been very consistent in being impactful every game in this tournament. Galvis has been all over the ice. You see him in some very strange places out there, below the goal line, down around the net. He's roves all over the ice, and Jiricek doesn't do that quite as often, but he does it less with speed and more with power. It's just, when you think one guy in Jiricek plays just under 25 minutes, and Galvis plays just under 21, 45 minutes of the game, one of these two guys on the ice, because they almost never play together.
Right.
And what a luxury that is for Czechia to have a dominant defenseman, albeit different, on the ice 3/4 of the game.
The team that took that to an extreme was the Anaheim Ducks when they won the Cup in 07, when they had Chris Pronger and Scott Niedermayer. And basically, they, between them, probably played 52 to 55 minutes of the game. Chihas. That shot tipped by Sikora and knocked away by Kirsch.
When you think about it, this is Czechia's 5th game of the tournament. Those 2 alone have 7 goals.
Right. From your back end.
Goal and a half from 2 guys in your defense per game.
Fibiger. Lead pass to Novotny. And Novotny works in, squeezed off the puck by Nick Lehman. Do the Swiss have a push here in the 3rd period? Joel Gross-Nicholas looks ahead for Robin Antonen. Picked back up by Novotny. Being watched there by Vey. And Ustinkov back to pick it up. Daniel Ustinkov moves ahead to Gross-Nicholas. Swiss are changing, and Gross-Nicholas will peel back. Slides that rink wide for Nicholas Blessing. His pass turned over, but held in the line by Blessing. Meyer feeds it back down, and Eichelman with a shot and a stop made by Orszalak. Here's Galvis back with it. Thomas Galvis tied for the tournament point lead with 8. Hard to pick the top defenseman this tournament from the Czechs.
If you like offense, those two, Zane Parekh, it's been lots of defense-led offensive teams here in Group B.
Held there by Sansonov. Leads it back down to Polidori. Back at the checks on Dranchak, who has a goal for Czechia. Looks ahead for Pesanichka. Kupiesa drops that back for Klima. That pass broken up. Sansonov out for Reber. Feeds that back to Jonsson. Ludwig Jonsson. In center ice and whips that back down the Czech zone. Orszalak back to play it. Wanting back in is Chihas. And Chihas spins back with it. Feeds that for Sikora with a quick shot. The glove save made by Kirsch.
So much of offensive hockey now is skills with your stick in tight spaces. And watch Sikora take this pass from Nestersiel. His first move is not to shoot the puck. His first move is to seal off the checker with his stick. She sticks it out there, so Ustnikov can't get it. Really neat stuff here. And get in front of you, and then I'll shoot it. It's just process that all split second. Impressive stuff.
He's as good a player as we've seen in tight.
Really
gross. Centers it, and Curran with a chance. Curse to save on that.
He's got to be wondering, all these chances, he's got to start finishing some of them.
32-18 the shots. Czechs have won 3 in a row after losing their opener to Canada. Trying to win a quarterfinal game for the 5th straight year. The last 2 have come against Canada. Here's Jiricek back with it. His 3rd World Junior, although the first one was a couple of periods, not even. As he was hurt in Gothenburg in the opener. Bad knee injury that derailed his season, basically. John Meyer. Pass knocked away from Antonen. Now Antonen tries the other side. Blessing couldn't knock it out. Czechs keep up the pressure here in the 3rd period. Gross-Nicholas out to center. Moved in by Antonen. Here's Bay after it. And Galvas just pulled away from him. Here's Galvas back across to Novotny. Brought back to Tillbach. Off the end boards, there's Galvas in deep. But is he really? Or is that just where he is? Novotny shoots, it got through, and Kirsch makes the stop on that as Galvas is all over the place for the Czechs.
And for the Czechs, you love to play the first 5 minutes in the offensive zone, wearing down Switzerland, getting the puck to the front of the net. Max Curran with a clean shot. And Kirsch able to steal it away with his blocker. And watch the eyes. He finds it just on its way to the net, but able to make the save. Kirsch basically got to be perfect the rest of the way, you would think, for Switzerland to come back in this game.
That clearing attempt deflected up and out.
Did it hit the stick or did it hit? Well, every referee on the ice said that was a deflection. Mugli back on the ice after taking that coincidental minor penalty towards the end of the 2nd period.
Open the scoring in the 1st period early on to give the Swiss the lead. They've led 1-0 and 2-1, but now down 4-2 here in the 3rd.
Played a couple of games with Hershey in the American League this year. One off the helmet. Kubiesa, that quick release we have seen several times in this tournament. He's got a really good shot. This for Trinitz.
Hit Kirsch in the mask. That Kitchener Ranger mask.
It was all right.
Mugli chomps at that. Pesanichka back to pick it up. 16 of these Czech players play in the CHL. Another in college, Nestrashil. Mugli. Back across to Ustinkov. Rink wide to Eschleman. Brings that back around. Racing to it is Borodori. Borodori trying to dig that free as Vaidaher's in there as well. Dronchak finds Kubiesa. Meyer slides it back across to Blessing. Katan gains the line and chips that back in. Jiricek back around to Gross-Nicholas. And Gross-Nicholas trying to dig that frame. Does. Picked up by Jiricek. Up for Nestrashil. That's icing against the Czechs.
Part of the challenge for Switzerland is that they don't have a lot of players that can beat guys one-on-one. So they can take advantage of your mistakes. They can force you to make mistakes in quick counter. But in the 3rd period with a 2-goal lead, you're less likely to have those turnovers. Even if you're Czechia, even if you're a teenager, you know, you get pucks in deep, and Switzerland just doesn't have players that can take guys on one-on-one, beat them out of a corner to create a chance. If there can be any line, it's going to be this one.
Jiricek chomps at that. Neunschwander was trying to knock it down, but Sikora plays it back out. Return pass for Sikora. In behind Neuenschwander. Sikora couldn't quite get the shot away. The puck was at his feet the whole time. Now Steiner brings it back out for the Swiss. Steiner chips out ahead, looking for Reber. And Galvis looks across for Chihas. And Sikora chips that back out and goes off on a change. And a pass by Janssen, tipped away by Nestrashil. It's Nestrashil for Galvis.
There you go.
Has the slot knocked down. In comes Janssen on a partial break. Ludwig Janssen, the defenseman. Off the skater Steiner. Nestrashil looks for Bulletin. He's in behind the Swiss defender. That was Mobley who fell. And they quieted at the end of the second period in a nasty collision. Vey looks back up for Gross Nicholas. He's got a step. Gross Nicholas, a backhand shot, and reaching back was Burt. Gonna knock that away. Antonin chips that back in the corner. Curran to the line, but not out. Mobley plays it back in for Vey. And in comes Vey. His drop pass is picked up by Benak, but Ustinkov kept it alive for the moment for the Swiss. Curran chips it ahead. In comes Benak with it. And closing quick was Ustinkov in on him. 7 gone here in the third period. Gross Nicholas drops that back to Meyer coming off the bench, and he pounds it back down to the Czech zone. That pass at center ice is knocked down and chipped in by Kimi Korbler. Novotny up for Hawk. Trying. Tittleback comes back out and fires, and a block made by Meyer. Tittleback plays that back at the point. Pesanichka lost the puck for a moment. Eichelman to the line, but not out. Tittleback back across to Mann. Looks back down to Hawk. That's broken up by Blessing. Novotny walks right out, and the pass just missed Tittleback in front. That pass misfires for Korbler, and icing called against the Swiss with 11:40 to go in the third period.
And Sikora has been all around the puck like he is every single game. Good defensive positioning, and it's a great battle. Him and Neuenschwander, 20 years old, 16 years old, but Neuenschwander showing good wheels to catch up, but Sikora with some creativity looking for the spinorama one-hander. I'm thinking of Sikora and the NHL. I think there's a role for a player like him for sure. He's a 6th rounder to Washington. He's big enough that I think he can do it.
4-2, the Czechs lead here on quarterfinal Friday at the 50th World Junior.
No way. It can't be. Gail, you have to...
I'll be in the car.
Yes.
It's your last chance for Boxing Week prices at the Brick. The storage sleeper sectional is just $9.99. Mind the 18 cubic foot fridge, your choice, white or stainless steel, only $8.99 each. And get up to 25% off dining and bedroom. The Brick, saving you more.
Thank you for your time.
Wow.
Thank you, Kendra.
Tim, you're up. Good morning. So I think really our focus is...
You're frozen.
Are we freezing? No, not today. Not today. Where are my numbers go? If you hear nothing else I say, I am going to let you down. You want to go with Kendra?
Yes.
Poor cable internet connection.
When the stakes are high, why rely on cable internet? Switch to Canada's most reliable internet technology with a 5-year plan price lock, only from TELUS.
There's a quick whistle. We're wondering what it was for. It's a penalty to Vaidaher, and it's a face-off violation. As he uses his hand, you're not allowed to do that. Now, he obviously uses his hand. Vaidaher would tell you that the puck was out of the face-off scrum, hit the official skate, happens all the time, came back into where we were standing.
Swiss
we were no longer...
It's a 2-minute minor for illegal fraction off the face-off.
We're no longer in the face-off sequence here because it sort of got away and came back, but that's a meager argument that I would make.
Plays for HC Damos, just won the Spengler Cup in their home rink. And Swiss teams have also won the last 2 Champions Hockey League titles.
Don't touch with your hand down there, Vey.
Be careful. Early down 1. Galvez back across. And a hard shot by Chias was blocked. And set down the ice by Sentinel. Czechs 0 for 1 on the power play. Sikora moves in and shoots that high. So the Swiss remain perfect in the penalty kill. 14 for 14. And they'll need to keep that going here. Novotny plays that back for Kubiesa. Back across for Sikora. And for Novotny, loose puck. Kubiesa trying to feed that back across. The pass was blocked by Reber. Here's Novotny back with it. Centers it. That's put high by Chias. Galvez back at the point. Down to Sikora. Sikora tied up. Galvez. Across to Kubiesa, has time, shoots, that's off the stick of Switzerland's Nathan Borodori and gloved by Kirsch.
Pretty good passing in tight by Czechia. Some really good close opportunities that didn't quite get down to the front of the net. Novotny goes to the tip over to Kubiesa, who's trying to go back against the grain. This would have been something if he could have got this one to go through, because Chihash would have been wide open, and it's the sliding knee of River that turns him aside.
By the way, those of you watching the USA-Finland game, here it's 4-2 Czechia. The Swiss led the game 1-0 in the first, 2-1 early in the second. And the Czechs reeled off 3 straight goals in the span of just over 5 minutes to take control of the game. And now on the power play, the Czechs bring it back in. Max Curran. Poke check there by Vey. And Vey's pass bounced into the Swiss bench and some pushing and shoving. This game has had some teeth.
I chuckle because the language used on the ice is universal.
Yes.
No matter what country you're from, what league you play in.
Brings us all together.
It is one that we all understand quite clearly. See if Bennett can't get one on his stick and into the back of the net.
Boy, he's been trying. He has been trying.
He might be a guy they look to going forward in the next weekend, the weekend games.
Jiricek back across for Nestrashil with a rocket. Nestrashil, 10 goals in 18 games as a freshman at UMass in the NCAA. Chicago first rounders calling for it again. Here he comes.
He's going to break his stick over there.
Nestrashil trying to slide that back across. Bussing got a stick on that, knocked it up and out.
And my reaction as a teammate is if you're going to bang your stick that hard on the ice, it better be a really good play that's coming up. It wasn't for Nestrashil. Yeah, that's what I would tell him when I was in college or in the NHL. Listen to it. Everyone in the building knows the puck's going. So you want it, you're so open, and then you sling one through off a stick into the crowd.
Short of sounding an air horn, I'm not sure how much more noise you can make.
And if Antonin wasn't aware that he was over there, he certainly became very tunely aware.
Mugler in the backhand plays it back to center ice as the time winds down in this Czech power play.
You can use your voice too, like you can yell the guy's name. That is available to you.
Now a chance for Klima, shoot, scores! Just as the power play ended, Jiri Klima gets his first of the World Junior, and it's 5-2 Czechia.
Klima's been a physical, fast player. Hasn't gotten the board yet. Jumps on a quick puck. What a pivot off the wall. That is brilliant stuff from Kubiesa. Pull it on your backhand, spin off the wall, and then put it right into the wheelhouse for Klima. And that's a good shot. Not much Kirsch can do with that one. But just a really skillful play on the wall from Kubiesa to make it happen. And now 5-2, Czechia feeling pretty comfortable halfway through the third period.
3 seconds after the power play had ended. Jiri Klima plays for Shawinigan in the Quebec League. He was not related to Peter Klima. Gives the Czechs a 3-goal lead. So the top seed, Sweden, has won. The 4th seed, Sweden, or the 4th seed, Czechia, rather, is ahead. The 3rd seed, the United States, is tied with the Finns after 1. And Canada, the 2nd seed, plays Slovakia tonight. And they will reseed after the quarterfinal round. The top remaining team will play the lowest, and the 2 middle will play each other. But this is the day that is the fork in the road. Lose this one, and you're on a plane home tomorrow.
And if you're one of the 5 countries that are probably here thinking they can win a gold, it feels like the tournament was a failure in the moment.
Well, you got to think one of the U.S. or Finland is going to be very bitterly disappointed by not advancing. Nestor Show, at least one, as we have seen lots of upsets in recent years. Katan. Up for Mugli, trying to find Vaidaher. That's back down to the Czech zone. Jiricek back to pick it up. Adam Jiricek, who scored that spectacular overtime goal for the Czechs against Finland.
What a goal that was in the context of this tournament.
Right. I mean,
he doesn't score that. Finland wins the game. It's Czechia's playing the U.S. today.
And, you know, they gave the late tying goal to the Finns. Antonin shoots. That's blocked. So to regroup after giving up the tying goal with less than a minute to go in the 3rd period. Nestor Schill works in, finds it across. Great save by Kirsch there on Chihas. And Meyer back the other way for the Swiss. Down by 3 for the first time in the tournament. They lost their opener 2-1 to the U.S. Were beaten 4-2 by the Swedes with a late empty net goal for Sweden. Steiner flips that back down. Switzerland's only medal in this tournament was a bronze in Finland back in 1998. They beat the Czechs in the bronze medal game in a shootout that year.
Czechia are taking advantage now as Switzerland gets more aggressive, trying to press up. They're getting odd man rushes. This is a really good save by Kirsch. Kirsch does have a good lateral push. Reads the play well when Nestor Schill puts it to his backhand and gets over in a hurry on Chiash to turn it away. And one more look at this play. Look at this play by Kubias off the wall. On his backhand, pull it off and pivot out. Mugli seals the wall, which almost every defenseman would do. And if you can handle it clean, you get instant access to the middle of the ice. Really well done.
Benak with it. Off the glass, that's kicked at by Vaidaher. Now Galvis back with it. Galvis for Curran. Up to center ice, Mugli got tied up and now fires it back down to the Czech zone. Politin with it. Moves it across the line. Politin gets a step on Ustinkov. Threw that in the crease. Still loose. Kirsch kicked that away. Vaidaher. Back around. It's played back out by Antonin. Chip back down by Pasanichka. Meyer forced there by Novotny. And Novotny works the puck free. Inside 6 to go here in the 3rd period. The Czechs, another semifinal berth in their grasp as Vey moves in, and the play is offside at the Swiss line. 5-2, the Czechs lead on quarterfinal Friday at the World Junior.
right now at Harvey's. You can get 2 flame-grilled burgers for just $8. Make it an original, veggie, or one of each, and top them just the way you like. That's 2 burgers for $8, only until February 1st.
When you've been in Canada for over 230 years, you get around. In plastic cups, fancy cups, teacups, these little cups, or no cup at all. From glassware to footwear to everywhere in between. Because it doesn't matter what it's in. It matters where it's from. Molson, everyone in.
Still to come, one more quarterfinal. Canada taking on Slovakia. Coverage starts at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on TSN. Slovaks
have only played 1-goal games.
Yes, all 3 of their losses 1-goal games.
And their one win, Germany, was a 4-1 win.
They've been a tough out.
You would expect it to be close.
And it was the last time they played in the quarterfinals. That was back in 2023 in Halifax, a classic game. Won by Connor Bedard in overtime with a spectacular overtime winner.
All-time greatest goals ever.
The building literally shook. And we're in for a great weekend here. The semifinals on Sunday. Gold and bronze on Monday. Weekend plus. Neuenschwander chipped that back in front of rolling puck to jam away at it. And Kirsch had to be careful there on the turnover. Czechs really like their team coming in. 11 back from last year. Back-to-back bronze medal teams.
One of the best teams they can remember bringing to this tournament in memory.
And they lost the gold medal game in Halifax in 2023 to Canada on the golden goal by Dylan Gunther. And they had great chances to win that one. Of course, the Czechs ended Canada's last 2 World Junior tournaments with quarterfinal wins. Dronchuk was just missed there by Steiner. Nestrashil. Nifty move there, but it's knocked down by Antonin. Antonin looks ahead. And here a Czech knocks that down. Kept alive by Janssen. That drop pass is picked up by Sikora. Looks ahead for Fibiger. Fibiger in for Chinas. That's knocked away by Janssen. Fibiger back with it. Long shot tipped wide by Sikora. Gross Nicholas. Lead pass to Vey. 10 of these Czechs can return next year. We've actually got 6 back from last year's team correction, but 10 can come back. Mugli shoots. That's knocked down, and barring injury, most of them should be available.
Czechia went on a long run of empty international results.
Yeah.
Both at the senior and at the junior level. And
they went 17 years without a medal prior to this run of 3 straight medals.
Hard to imagine that. Seems to be coming back. They won the Worlds a couple years ago.
Now that's knocked down by Politin. Politin works in. Centers it. A point-blank shot by Benak. Turned away by Kirsch. Benak cannot buy one in this tournament. Politin. He shoots it wide. The Czechs, by the way, are the only country outside Canada and the U.S. to win a top-level IHF tournament in the last 3 years. Canada and the U.S. have won 14 of the 15. And that is a concern in Europe, that more than the women's side, that overall Canada and the United States are pulling away from the rest of the world.
We're going to have half the semifinalists in this tournament. Could have 3 of the 4, depending on the Finland results.
And the U.S. have won the last 6 World Juniors, between them 3 each. Lead pass goes to Novotny working in, and Novotny trying to pull that back around. That's knocked away. Inside 3 to go here in the third. Novotny plays that back around.
There's a board coming up to Janssen. Novotny got hit from behind. He's down in the corner.
Swiss staring down a 5th straight quarterfinal loss at the juniors. 2:42 to go in the third period. And And the Czechs have things going their way as they look to be heading for the semifinals on Sunday here in Minnesota.
Give yourself the gift of sleep this holiday season.
Hurry in and shop unbeatable deals with 25% off almost everything. Our extended Boxing Week is on now at Sleep Country.
Remember, if you don't snooze, you lose.
When you've been in Canada for over 230 years, you get around. In plastic cups, fancy cups, teacups, these little cups, or no cup at all. From glassware to footwear to everywhere in between. Because it doesn't matter what it's in. It matters where it's from. Molson, everyone in.
From a first game to their biggest game. From Esso medals to gold medals. We are dedicated to Canada's game.
Czechia will spend the next 2 minutes or less on the power play as Janssen gets Novotny from behind. The visor right into the dasher. Ouch. You can see the visor slide down over his chin almost. You're trying to finish, but you're leading with the stick and you get it up in the back. You got to push on the hips so that you don't drive the head into the boards.
Czechs are 0 for 2. The Swiss are 15 for 15 on the penalty kill in the tournament.
Try to one more thing to aspire to, keep a clean penalty kill record if you're Switzerland. Czechia going with 2 defensemen as well, being a little bit more responsible.
Janacek plays that back around. Kubiesa for Fibiger, fires. Kirsch makes the save. Sikora knocks it down. Kirsch down. Chihas slides that back to Fibiger. Shoots, scores!
That's why he's on the power play.
Jakob Fibiger, the Seattle 7th rounder, plays for Brampton in the OHL, and he's on the board in the tournament. And it's now a 6-2 game.
They put the defenseman out there to Fibiger as the extra guy. He's not usually on the power play. Puts one down on the net, doesn't quite happen. Everybody wants the puck for a return pass. He says, you know what? I'm just going to shoot it myself. As a good seam pass gets out to him, he finds a spot through the shot blockers. And Kirsch is not quite back in a controlled position.
So on their way out of the tournament, the Swiss give up a power play goal.
The bubble burst for the airtight defense. The 950 level goaltending, the perfect penalty kill.
They'd only allowed 8 goals on a goaltender in the tournament. 6 here in the quarters. And they played the United States and the Swedes. They only allowed 2 to the U.S. and 4 to the Swedes, 1 into an empty net.
It's been a very professional game for Czechia. Even when they got down 1-0, 2-1, they never panicked. They didn't deviate from their game plan. Just eventually trusted that the offense would come, and it certainly has.
Icing called against the Swiss.
And the theme of offense from the defense continues. Fibiger gets his first of the tournament in a game that has seen half the goals scored by defensemen for Czechia.
Fibiger is a Seattle 7th rounder.
Plays big minutes. He's over 20 minutes, Fibiger is per game on the first pair.
Now the rink-wide pass for Meyer. John Meyer plays that back in. Kenta centering pass is knocked out by Novotny. Up for Tittelbach for Novotny. Gets a step on Lehman, moves it and fires, and Kirsch got a piece of that. Tittelbach back with it. Up to center ice. Here's Pesanichka. John plays it back in. Ustinkov trying to knock that down. Novotny plays that back. Pesanichka with a long shot. Glove down by Kirsch into the final minute now of the 3rd period. The game the Swiss led twice, but it got away from them in the 2nd period when the Czechs broke it open. back out by Ustinkov. Here comes Kubiesa. And Kubiesa plays that back in. Dranchak, who has a key goal for the Czechs here this afternoon. Back for Jiricek, shoots, and a pad save by Kirsch. Eschleman up ahead for Meyer as time winds down here in the third period. And Czechia is going to the semifinals for the 5th straight year at the World Junior Championship. A 6-2 win over Switzerland. They've beaten the Swiss now 6 straight times in the tournament. And they will play in the semifinal on Sunday.
It's great to see them celebrate. This is a massive game in this tournament. The quarterfinal day, getting through, you're playing for a medal. You're going to the final weekend, and they will either play Sweden if the U.S. wins, or Canada if Canada beats Slovakia, and Finland wins. So we'll see how that shakes out. Either way, they've done their work at this building, and they'll head over to the big rink.
Yeah, for the semifinals, the bronze and gold medal game. We'll get the player of the game presentations here, then the top 3 players for the Swiss, followed by the Czech national anthem. And the Czechs, who have alternated goaltenders for the first 5 games of this tournament.
What do you do?
Do they go back to Mašík?
What do you do, Gord?
Well, here's the thing. Mašík played against Denmark and Latvia. Orszalak played Canada, Finland, and Switzerland. He got the tougher games.
Orszalak's going back the next
I think you go back to Orszalak. I think the fact that they alternated was more to do with
schedule and rest. Yeah. And Orszalak was solid when he had to be in this game. And another day off tomorrow. Practice, a little scouting, make the move.
Ladies and gentlemen,
to the new rink.
Each team will now be awarded with a Faribault Mill blanket featuring the Land of 10,000 Rinks mural, specially commissioned for the 2026 IIHF World Junior Championship, designed by Minnesota-based Indigenous artist Shauna Bullet Group Ring Team as part of the Assist 26 Community Initiative. The artwork honors the Indigenous lands, cultural teachings, and deep hockey roots that define Minnesota. The prizes will now be presented by Tom McInnes, Deputy Athletics Director at the University of Minnesota. The best player for Team Switzerland, number 41, Leon Mugli.
They open the scoring in the first period for the Swiss. Had the big hit in the second. And Mugli, the Washington second-round pick, is the player of the game. He'll be one of their top 3 in the tournament as well.
The best player for Team Czechia, number 21, Yuri Klima.
Big goal for Klima, but
he's played hard all tournament.
Had a couple of assists as well early on.
It's fun to have a productive game heading into the semifinals.
And now, as is the custom, you'll get the top 3 players from the Swiss.
And all the best players for Team Switzerland throughout the 2026 IIHF World Junior Championship will be awarded a watch from Tissot, the official timekeeper of the International Ice Hockey Federation. The 3 best player awards are selected by each team and will be presented by Lars Weibel, Swiss Ice Hockey Director of Sport. The 3 best players of Team Switzerland are number 15, Lars Steiner, number 41, Leon Mugli, and number 89, Kimi Kerbler.
All right, so there's your top 3 for the Swiss, who will wind up in 6th place in the tournament. Another quarterfinal loss for them, but they'll potentially bring back 5 from this team. Nguyen Schwander will play in his 3rd next year, barring injury.
And he might have had his best game of the tournament in this one. Nguyen Schwander was very good. And there are a lot of scouts in the building. Now, his draft is a couple years away, but he would get your attention.
And the Swiss get Swiss watches.
Add to the collection.
At this time, fans, we ask those of you who are able to please rise for the national anthem of Czechia.
Sing it loud and proud. They used to be an afterthought at this tournament, usually an early quarterfinal exit, but 3 straight medals and now going for a 4th. Czechia, now a legit World Junior powerhouse.
The 2026 IIHF World Junior Championship on TSN is brought to you in part by TELUS, now offering 5-year plan price lock on select mobility and internet plans. By Esso, from the Esso Metals program.
Полный месяц встал над лугом, неизменным дивным кругом, светит и молчит. Бледный луг цветущий, мрак ночной по нем ползущий, отдыхает, спит. Жутко выйти на дорогу, непонятная тревога под луной царит. Хоть и знаешь, утром рано солнце выйдет из тумана, поле озарит. И тогда пройдешь тропинкой, где под каждой пылинкой жизнь кипит. И тогда пройдешь тропинкой, где под каждой пылинкой жизнь кипит. Над лугом, неизменным дивным кругом, светит и молчит. Бледный луг цветущий, мрак ночной по нем ползущий, отдыхает, спит. Жутко выйти на дорогу, непонятная тревога под луной царит. Хоть и знаешь, утром рано солнце выйдет из тумана, поле озарит. И тогда пройдешь тропинкой, где под каждой пылинкой жизнь кипит. И тогда пройдешь тропинкой, где под каждой пылинкой жизнь кипит. Утром рано солнце выйдет из тумана, поле озарит. И тогда пройдешь тропинкой, где под каждой пылинкой жизнь кипит. Пусть светит месяц, ночь темна, пусть жизнь приносит людям счастье. В моей душе любви весна, не смей быть бурно во ненастья. Ночь распростерлась надо мной, и отвечает мертвым взглядом на тусклый взор души больной, облитой острым сладким ядом, облитой острым сладким ядом. И тщетно страсти затая в холодной мгле перед рассветной. Среди толпы блуждаю я, с одной лишь думаю заветной. Пусть светит месяц, ночь темна, пусть жизнь приносит людям счастье. В моей душе любви весна не сменит бурного ненастья. Месяц, ночь темна, пусть жизнь приносит людям счастье. В моей душе любви весна не сменит бурного ненастья.